All right, guys. We have a young, beautiful lady in the building today. Most girls I've booked on this podcast have bailed, have not come through, but Morgan has come through all the way in Mexico. She doesn't live there, but she's in Mexico, still on vacation and able to help me out this podcast. So I do appreciate that. Take your hands and warm them together for Morgan May, everybody. Thank you for coming on the show, Morgan. We do appreciate the female opinion, but you caught my eye because you're on my For You page, and whenever I see a woman that is speaking her opinion on modern day feminism and stuff like that, and you're gonna take a lot of heat. You're gonna call the pick me an internalized misogynist. No, yeah, exactly, internalized misogyny. You're gonna get a lot of hate from both sides, men and women. I just get most of my hate from women, a little bit of men, but you take it on both sides, and you still make content day in and day out. That means you have a thick skin, and I appreciate that because you have to have a thick skin when you're talking about this dynamic, this dating dynamic nowadays. So I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank
But
you so much for having me.
of course, yeah. So the thing I was going to ask you is, what got you into making content on TikTok?
um, I mean, partially it was lockdown
Okay, true.
and I was just on the app a lot and like wasting a lot of time just in like TikTok K-holes
True.
basically. Um, and as a marketer, I mean, I'm a marketer in my profession and my day job. I know the value of building an audience and of social media. And I heard a lot of marketers talk about how much opportunity there was on TikTok to really grow just because the algorithm is so incredible.
It's very friendly.
Yeah. So and I like the app a lot better than other apps like Instagram. It's very authentic. Like it's funny, like the TikToks that I make that I put more time and effort and I'm wearing makeup and the whole thing, they don't get as half as many views as when I have like greasy hair and a messy bun just responding to a stitch. So
True.
I really like that. I think it's like a good trend towards realness and authenticity. And I'm someone that has very strong opinions. I have
Yeah.
very diverse, I guess I could say life experience.
Mhm.
So I have things to talk about, and being able to do that on a platform where people can hear me um, is really compelling to me. So
Absolutely. So,
yeah.
what made you want to go down this rabbit hole of the feminism and the women and men dynamic? Because you easily could have been shaking your hips and doing the whoa. You easily could
Oh
have
my
been doing that,
gosh.
but you
No.
decided to talk about much more, complex topics. What made you want to talk about that instead of going just a cute girl route? Because you could have, of
So, and thank you. um, but
course.
I have been down this rabbit hole of, you know, I'm going to call it red pill truth. I don't necessarily mean like the red pill movement, but like being red pilled, like understanding the truth of the world as it is today,
Absolutely.
and seeing it through a different perspective than maybe the mainstream has.
Mhm.
I've been down that rabbit hole for a few years now,
Nice.
maybe like two or so years,
Mhm.
um, and experimenting in that. Like I'm actively dating, so it's something that not only am I learning about online, but I'm also taking to practice and discerning. And so it's a big theme in my life in general. And whenever I'm down various rabbit holes, whether it's, going from veganism to carnivore or, mainstream medicine to more holistic, like these are, rabbit holes I've explored in my past. This one is the most relevant to me now, and it's kind of truth that I'm exploring and experimenting with now. So I guess my opinions and ideas are fresh. And it's interesting, I have created content around veganism and around big pharma, and they don't get nearly as many,
Wow.
like
Okay.
it's nearly as much engagement. And I think it's because it's such a pain point of the culture, this like love, right? Love
Yeah.
and dynamics between men and women is really raw almost, and everyone is very charged up about it. So I think it's a good kind of point to enter into and maybe
Yeah.
then expand on other things. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you talk about red pill. I found it back in 2019, so almost 2 years
Mm.
now. And you even use the word hypergamous. That's why like this girl really gets it. So that word came from Rollo Tomasi and the book Rational Male. So who put you on? Because I know that here's the thing: there's red pill in politics, red pill in everything. But when it comes to
Mm.
dating, who put you on the dating red pill stuff? Yourself or friends?
Definitely not friends. I'm like
Wow.
the only I have one girlfriend where we share this like
Same ideology.
perspective.
Hmm.
Yeah, and everyone else thinks I'm nuts. Um or like a gold digger or just
Of
like
course. Oh,
need
we'll
to talk
talk
to my
about that.
therapist about
Oh yeah,
something. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Um but basically I grew to be very critical over the feminist movement
Okay.
around 2018.
Okay.
Um and in my exploration of that, I came across red pill stuff, red pill
Wow.
content on the internet. And, it, you know, I started exploring it. It's unfortunate because I think even at that time, the community was very, as a woman listening to men in that community, like it's not good for our self-esteem. Like the way that a lot of those creators talk about women is very, while there are some truths to it, and I'm not discounting red pill as a whole by any means, I think, it attracts a lot of bitterness, a lot of anger. And so I couldn't like stay there for very long, but it did open my eyes to like, oh, like maybe there's something completely different out there that I've been taught and I've learned. And then I ended up finding Girl Game, like the whole world of Girl Game on YouTube
Okay.
and women talking about like the same things, but from a female's perspective and how to win basically as a woman.
Talk about that.
And
Because I know, here's the thing, in my opinion, sorry to cut you off. It's just like to
no,
me,
please.
women don't necessarily need game because this is my opinion because of their options, right? So for me, I'm a handsome ass dude. I have legit one girl in my DM saying, "Hey, you." That's it, right? And I consider myself on the 8, 9, and 10 category. But yourself have easily, let's say, 20. So when a guy's acting weird, flaky, next, it's like just next, right? So a girl has the ability of having the abundance mindset, very and they can adopt it much quicker than a man. Because honestly, you probably heard of the 80-20 rule. There's only 20% of men bang all the chicks. So most
Mhm.
men aren't players. Most men can't maybe get a date a month if they're lucky. So tell me some of the things about the girl game that taught you because I'm interested about that.
Yeah. So what you're describing is natural order.
Yeah,
This
natural.
is how nature operates, right? Like the sperm chase the egg, women have suitors, and then we have to like sift out the
Sift
suitors and
out. Yep, yep,
choose the best one.
absolutely.
And the men hunt. The men, while you might have one girl in your DMs, do you really want that girl because she's pursuing you? You're going to want the girl that you have to actually
And she's
chase
just
because
like a
she's
6 out of 10, not the hottest one. I want to
yeah,
die. I
like
want
the
to die.
girls. I tell this to my handsome male friends. I'm like, my theory is that pretty boys are lazy hunters because they get so many options thrown at them, but the options that are being thrown at them are masculine women who are pursuing men. And so they're really not the best options in the pool. And then things never work out with those women because these women are more masculine and they're wondering what's going wrong. And it's because they're not hunting and they're not pursuing the high value women who have the options and know their worth and would never ever pursue a man. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
So for me, so to me, I didn't get handsome till I was about 21, 20, 19, 20, right? Because
perfect.
I,
Have
I
a great personality
that's what
then.
I'm saying, dude. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so from when I was a kid, I grew up in an all white neighborhood, all white school. I was probably the only kid of color, like legit. Like maybe make one Mexican, couple Asians, rest white, right? So
Yeah.
the girls were attracted to, the Kyle, right? They had the little faux hawk going, billabong, board shorts. I'm like, okay, well, since no one looks like me, I don't know how to be besides the boys I see. So I tried to be them, talk, walk,
Mm,
be them, right? And I didn't, and I, and it's funny because looking back, that's an identity crisis. But during then, I was just trying to fit in.
a
Not
thousand
till I
percent.
was
Like
about
everyone does.
yeah, not till I was about 2021. I sat down in a white barber, right? Now this white barber's been to jail, so he has like that style to
Edge.
him.
Yeah.
Edge, edge. I sat down, I was like, dude, what is this? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, why does your hair look like this? And I was just like, this is just what how it's been. He's like, nah, bro, we're gonna grow this out. We're gonna give you a fade. Like in within a year, I was like, whoa, this is great. Like I didn't think this was possible. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I was
Yeah.
like, nah. So it's like I needed someone to kind of guide me in that direction.
Yeah.
Shoot. But anyway, I off a small tangent. Back to the whole pretty boy thing. I didn't really have options forever. Honestly lived in the friend zone all of high school because
Mm,
I was sold the lie through the Disney movies and what girls talk about of if you just chase, pursue, keep giving gifts, keep going on dates, you will win in the end, or you will have her. But I kept
Mm,
losing over and over and over. For the longest time, I was like, I'm not gonna let society change me. Like girls need to change, not me. I'm gonna stay the same, and girls will be lucky to have me. And girls, that's what girls will tell me too. You stay the same. Like don't ever change. Stay, be you. And
mm.
then when I was 21, long story short, a girl I've been talking to for a very long time showed up on our first date with a hickey. And when I called her out on it, I
Oh.
called her out on it, she left me
Yeah.
on red. So it was that easy for her to just drop me. Like we've been talking for like half the year. And she lived in different states. When we first linked up, she just had the hickey. I talked to her about over text when she left, and it just dropped me. Right. So that was my moment. Like, you know what? I'm sick of this feeling. I'm sick of like investing so much just to get dropped. I mean, so that's when I started to realize that I need to change. Like I need to
Mm,
find something or find a book, talk to somebody because this isn't cool. And then that's when I
yeah.
ran into the YouTube videos and I just the whole, especially during quarantine of last year, really just
Mhm.
went deep. Almost went too deep, but I pulled myself out a little bit because some dudes were talking a bit too aggressive. Like
Mhm.
I get what you're trying to say, but your delivery is a little brash, like you've talked about. So I kind of
Mhm.
pulled myself out a little bit, and then I started making TikTok videos and stuff like that. But whew, it was it was a great time to realize that the biggest thing a red pill taught me was put yourself first, and I wasn't putting myself first at
A
all.
thousand percent.
I
This
wasn't.
is this is the key in girl game too. If both parties are putting themselves first, that is indicative of high value. It means I value myself too much to sit across from someone on a date that has a hickey on their neck. I'm gonna get up and walk away because
Uh
this
huh.
is BS.
I agree.
And so when two partners come together who are both putting themselves and their needs first, it actually creates like great chemistry and a great dynamic, and it avoids codependency. And I think that's not taught in the culture. I mean, in so many different areas we are bred to have a victim mentality, and
Absolutely.
like government first, and oh, the animals first and before me. But if
Mhm.
I'm not filled up and if my needs aren't being met, how can I show up fully in the world? And how is me betraying myself any better than me betraying anything else? I would say that self-betrayal is the worst betrayal, compared to
Absolutely.
anything else. So
Yeah.
it's a key component in girl game too, and it's totally, I mean, it changes everything in many many areas of your life, beyond just dating, in my opinion.
100%. And that was probably the biggest takeaway is putting myself first. So say I'm talking to a girl on Tinder, okay? And I'm not sure if you watch any of my videos, but I have a couple of videos where I'm like live from the DM. And if I try to close within 4 to 5 messages, if they're like, oh, well, before we hang out, let's just talk more, or I don't know when I'm free. Next. Because the old me was, I don't want to lose you. I got you. Okay, I got you. So I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
lose you. But now it's like, I'm willing to walk away from anything,
Yep.
anybody, anything, because I come first. Before it was, okay, what can I do to make you happy? Oh, you want to be just friends? Okay, well, if that makes you happy, I'll just be your friend. Even though I want you
Mm-hmm.
romantically, I'll still be your friend because that's what you want and I'll make you happy. Now, man, it's flip flop. But here's the thing though, you will lose some friends and you will lose some also girls will kind of give you some pushback and shame you a bit when you have this
Mm.
mindset. I've seen it a
Oh, a
bunch.
thousand percent. A thousand percent. Um, yeah, I mean, it's very countercultural. It's very counter to everything that people have been taught, especially in dating. And I
True.
just watched a creator when she was talking about how, when you as a woman enhance your femininity and you start to have standards and you start to say no to things and you start to, have certain expectations for how you're going to be treated as a woman, you actually don't get more options. You get way less
You
options
do. You get
because
way less.
there are way less people who are willing to step up to that level, or who are comfortable in that space, or or that's not foreign to. So yeah, and it's weird because it feels like a perpetual gaslight. It feels like, okay, you're getting so much pushback from everywhere in your life. You're like, am I doing something wrong? But
Absolutely.
you know that it's that it's right.
Absolutely.
from
I
personal
like that.
experience. And
I like
yeah.
that point because I did see myself um okay, I call it like this. So it's almost like with like my old self, I would say I meet 100 girls in a year or something like that. I probably keep in contact with like maybe, I don't know, 80 or 90 of them, right? Because I want to
Mhm.
keep them around. Now it's like if I meet 100 girls, I may end up talking to like 10 or 15. The reason
Mm.
that is there's a lot of girls out there that like being in control, more masculine women. You know what I mean? Maybe there's more masculine women. So when they talk to me and they realize that they can't dictate shit and I'm running this motherfucker, they start to go, okay, they start to almost push back a bit because they're not used to strong men. So then they'll kick me to the curb, which is fine. I don't care because I've had it plenty of times because they I put myself first so much that
Mhm.
they can't run the relationship and that makes them frustrated, right?
Oh,
So when the
yeah.
girl goes, "Hey, like, can we schedule?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." Wait, what? I'm like, "Nah, like you bailed. I know for a fact this is for a better option. Like, I'm good." What
Yep.
makes you so this? What makes you so like? And but if I was
Bye.
more agreeable, oh, no problem. Like whenever you want to see me again, like you let me know. We've been probably been fine. The
It's a
fact that
test.
it's
It's
a
a
big one.
test.
Mhm.
Yeah. And once I learned about my own nature, because I'd heard this in some video,
Yeah,
the theory that women are testing men constantly, I was like, no. And then I
subconsciously.
thought back to everything, and I
I've ever
started
done.
observing myself in dating and everything, down to like tone, and how quick they are to respond, and did they look to the left. We're constantly ingesting so much data, because I mean that's our process, and men
True.
test women too, but I think it's a little bit different
Did yeah, I'll play different. Yeah.
for women.
So you know
Yeah.
what? So let's help the guys out real quick. Let's give them some game.
Mhm.
What are some tests? Maybe a couple that you do
Mhm.
to test a man's competency or confidence. Stuff like that. Things you've done in the past.
um okay, so it's funny, I haven't thought about this like as linearly, but
Sure.
I'll see if they have leadership qualities. So are they
Okay.
setting up a date at a
Okay.
specific time at a specific restaurant? Is it a nice restaurant? Are they trying to take me to happy hour? Are they trying to take me to tacos, or like a walk? What kind of date are they proposing? Because that
Okay.
tells me how serious they are
Okay.
about taking me out. It tells me about their financial situation. A lot of guys try to just date a lot of different girls on the cheap so that they can cast a wide net. So I look to see that, how they're coming to me.
Mhm.
um I look to see, are they asking me to come home with them on the first date? Which, I don't think it's necessarily a deal breaker, and some guys will, imply it, and then you say no, and you'll move right along. It's not like they're like really pushy about
True.
it.
True.
But because I think it's the norm, especially, I'm in Mexico now, but I'm a New Yorker, and things move
Oh,
so
nice. Oh,
fast
yeah.
there, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like very common for that to happen. So it's not necessarily a negative, but it does, just it's a piece of data to like note for the future.
Okay. Let's talk about that then.
um
So,
yeah.
first date. When guys come to me and ask me, "Yo, what is the first date? What we doing?" Now, you know this. How old are you? How old are you?
I'm
Roughly.
31 years old.
You look great. Anyway,
Thank you.
I feel like dating when you're 16 to 24 is
Mhm.
different than when you're 30. Okay.
Oh yeah,
I feel like,
1000%.
because I feel like the dates you went on when you're a college girl versus the dates you're on now are different. So there is a
Way
discrepancy,
different.
guys. So don't get mad at yourself. You can take her to a steakhouse on your first date and you're only 18. Like you don't have to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I absolutely.
Yeah.
As long as it's like, if you're planning it out, if you're setting a time, if you're not taking her to like McDonald's, okay,
Of
like
course.
some
Of course.
nice restaurant, and like putting in effort and making, the plan, maybe offering to pick her up. Like, and this is all, by the way, look, there's very different strategy. I think men need to have sex. Like an innate visceral need that you guys have. So I don't shame men that date for that purpose. So if
True.
that's your end goal, maybe it looks a little bit different. Maybe you don't want the girl who has super high standards that's going to make you work for it. Like,
True.
it might look a lot different, but like, be very clear on your game for those two different objectives. If you're talking to a girl and your goal is to sleep with her, come to her with a different game than if
Yeah,
your goal is to wife her, you know, like,
absolutely.
because if your goal is to wife her and you're approaching her like a fuck boy, she's not going to respond
Well said.
kindly to that, you know?
Absolutely.
Um,
So, all right.
so
So, first date. So, maybe think back to your younger days, college, whatever. So, for me, I tell guys straight up, low investment. The reason why I say low investment is because, again, if a girl's above a seven, options,
mhm.
options, options. She has plenty of them. So, why would you go ahead and drop $50 to $100 on the first date and you may never see her again? The ex came back. She thought you were too nice. Like, it just, I tell guys to try to keep it to know, like, okay, think about how much money you make an hour, times that by 2 hours. Okay, that's how much you should fucking spend on your date, dude. Don't be freaking going out and spending like 50, 60 on the first date or 100, because I just don't feel like that's effective, especially when you may never see her ever again because she may not like you.
So
So
this is
what do you say?
actually a good conversation. It's an
Okay.
interesting conversation.
Yes.
In my opinion,
Yes.
if if 50 or $100 is going to set you back significantly, like wait until you're at a point where that's not going to set you back significantly.
Fair point.
Um,
Absolutely.
so that's my first point. My second point is what I started doing, because I don't like wasting my time. I don't like wasting it. And men probably don't like wasting their money. So I am very intentional with the people that I choose to actually see in person. Usually there's a lot of like, I'll FaceTime with them first to see if there's a vibe, to see if
Mhm.
I want to that. Cause I mean, for women too, men are spending money. I'm spending energy. It takes me like 2 hours to get ready and I have to
Gotcha.
have the outfit and the perfume and it's all expensive, like
Yeah.
expensive jewelry. Like there's a whole thing. Like I'm not going to just do that for a guy. I have better things to do than just, I'm not in it for like the steak dinner. I don't care. I
Exactly.
could,
Okay. Be
I could
yourself.
eat at my house.
Yeah.
So anyways, there's things that you can do to build attraction and make sure that like you're going to be, spending time with someone that it's a good investment, like a little bit longer term. So, maybe it's a FaceTime, maybe it's a phone call, maybe it's like, two phone calls before the date just to get the vibe. Like
Absolutely.
I yeah, because I do think these sevens, eights, nines, times, whatever, they do have options. And so if you're going to come to them, you're not going to drop 50 to 100 and not going to plan out something exciting and different, or, show her that you're really thinking about it and putting time into it. She's going to go for the guy who is doing that. Now, I think that this is different with two different types of women. The very feminine women are going to see that and they're going to value it and it's going to feel good. The girls who are very masculine and who are used to dating fuckboys and used to being treated really poorly, they're going to eat the dinner and then go fuck, some random dude off of Tinder for validation. Like, but so it's the man's job too in today's culture to really vet out the masculine women from the feminine women. In fact, I would even say, like, if a woman, like you're talking about your Tinder messages, if a woman is coming to you trying to set up plans or leading a conversation or seeming like she's trying to control, cut it off then. Don't waste your time. Like, men get into trouble with masculine women because the dynamic is off. Like, it's the feminine women that, you know, if I were a guy, I would spend my time vetting and pursuing and spending my money on, because I would know that they get it and they're not just gonna like eat the top, whatever it is, and ghost,
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
here's my response to, I think, your second part. No, no, actually, no, first part. Okay, here we go. For me, I used to, my job on the first date used to wow a chick. Let's do something they've never done and take them on a very good experience. Never slept with those chicks. And you can say a bunch of reasons as to why. I get it. But to me now, I do better with women. This might get me canceled, but I'm going to say anyway, earning it. Right? I feel like a lot of times I was giving women boyfriend vibes and experiences off the first date, right? So they kind of put me in this category of like, okay, you're a guy I see a future with. Now a guy I'm gonna sleep with. So I'm gonna put you over here. I'm gonna let you keep taking me out, but Big Dick Randy over here on Happy Hour Yard House, or he just calls me over. I'll sleep with him because I don't see a future with him. I see a future with you, but I'm not gonna sleep with you right now. So now with women is I have like a you're gonna roll your eyes at this. I have at least a 3 date casual rule. We're gonna go with 3 dates that are very casual. If you show up, you don't bail, you're feminine, we have a great time. On the fourth and fifth, my effort will go up insane. Like one time I took a chick, we went jet skiing. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like
Love it.
I will raise the ante when you work with me. But on the first date, that's almost like you proving to me, are you worth to keep spending more money on? Because of course I'm gonna have the wall, I'm gonna pay for all this stuff. So that's just how I think. So what's your response to the whole like, you know, as we the dates go on, the experience increases. What's your opinion on that?
I disagree with it, and I'll tell you
Perfect. Go
why.
ahead. Of course.
I think that I would never show up to a first date in like Lululemon leggings and a ponytail. Like I would never do it.
Hmm.
I think that's disrespectful to the man. I think that it's not putting my best foot forward. At the same time, me doing the whole thing
Hmm.
isn't me giving this guy a girlfriend experience. I'm just showing the value that I'm bringing. I mean, look, everyone gets so pressed in my comments saying, oh, it's transactional beauty for money. I'm not saying that. It's just like we
Yeah.
start with these things, they're subconscious like mechanisms
Yeah.
that
Of course.
we both have. But like, I'm going to put my best foot forward in that regard and like show why I'm worth continuing to pursue or
Absolutely.
incite interest and attraction.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you, as like a woman who I try to sit in my femininity, especially when dating, I would not show up to a date that was super casual or I felt was half-assed. Like I wouldn't even show up if you had asked me on a date. And it has nothing to do, with he's not taking me to a 5-star steakhouse. No, it's like, oh, he clearly this is like he's not taking me seriously, because like fuck boys will do the casual date thing, guys who are not really that serious will do the casual date thing. So I think that in my opinion, I understand the logic. I just think that it's a little black and white to say, oh, like it's all, if I'm paying and if I'm putting a little bit more effort, that's giving the boyfriend experience, and then they won't respect that. I think that there's a way, it's an energy thing, right? Like if you're putting this girl on a pedestal and you're, like it's an energy thing. We can suss out desperation just like guys can suss out desperation, but like treating a girl to like a date and setting the tone of the who you are, like the kind of man that you are right away, is not, in my opinion, not the same as simping, right? And I think that in my opinion, you would be cutting out a lot of high value women from your potential pool if you're bringing like more casual, low effort dates to them for the first 3 times. It would be like me showing up in a ponytail with like minimal makeup and leggings.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that. So for me, I feel like as I've changed my approach, I've seen a much better result with this is when I girls to me, I feel like want to earn something from you. If first day out the, out the gate is very, ooh, bougie. This is a nice place. Like he picked it now. I like the way this place looks. You put a lot of effort into it. I have to keep that up. Every time we go out, it has to be somewhere 3.5, 4, 5 star every single time. But for me, when the chick shows up on the third and fourth time, goes, oh, this is nicer. His effort is going up. And I like that. To me,
Mm.
that's worked better for me opposed to out the gate doing something very nice. Because when you start at the top, you gotta stay there. You can't, hey, let's go to Morton Steakhouse, Morton Steakhouse. Okay, let's catch a happy hour Yard House. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Like you got to keep it up. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Have you had pushback from girls like that where they're like, oh, hold up?
No, it's just I haven't. But the thing is with me, it's like I used to always try to do out the gate high effort to show them that I'm worth
Yeah.
it. But then I said, you know what? I think I read books, listen to podcasts, women respond better when they earn it. For example, guys talking to you, right? And it's just
Okay.
morning, morning. One then like a month later, good morning, beautiful. Oh shit. He's been keeping it vanilla. Now he's throwing in there some rocky road in here now. Like I feel like his interest in me has gone up. It was here and it's going up opposed to staying, at a 10. I feel like sometimes, but hey, you're not, your experience would be different, but how would you feel if a guy's effort kind of went slowly up and high opposed to staying at high? How would you feel?
I think that, and look, I think this is interesting
Yeah.
because I talk to men a lot about, um, or I learn girl game from women who have like tried it on men, right? And so
Okay.
they have data, and men will be completely oblivious to certain
Oh, of
mechanisms.
course.
But like we know because we just have the data to try it. Femininity, for example, I see in the red pill community, a woman is just trash after 25 and da-da. Okay, they don't know like girl game and how women over 25 can like move in ways to incite attraction and interest and marriage. So like these things that we both like learn are not so hard and fast all the time. So frankly, I don't know, maybe that would work on me and i
Okay.
i would be unconscious of it. I will
Sure.
say though, like I, especially in the beginning, am very like hyper aware of things that are happening. And if I don't feel like if I feel like an option, if I feel like I have to work for anything, like I'm not interested. I specifically don't go for like super, super hot guys, for example, because they have girls throwing
Oh,
themselves at them. I'm
okay.
not going to try to like compete. I am feminine. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to attract, you know? So like
Okay. Good point. Okay.
if any guy made me feel that I had to like somehow put in work or like send him a self or like do anything, he's not the guy for me because that's his job. His job is to earn it and show that he's a worthy man to like enter into my bloodline basically and for me to give him like children. So, you know, I think the hyper feminine women would not be this is a theory that I mean, I would
Yeah,
not
of
be
course.
super receptive to that. But maybe the masculine women who have because the thing with women today, and it kills me, and it's part of the reason why I make the content that I do, women's self-esteem is just like women don't know what their value is. They all have like no self-esteem, no confidence, especially when you're in your early 20s and you're just getting messaging and all this stuff. So I would see that working with a woman who has lower self-esteem, who feels like she does have to earn love or, you know, um, chase a man in some way, like energetically. But I think for the hyper feminine women who are used to really sitting back and attracting, it might not be the best strategy, would be
Okay. So let
my
me ask you this.
theory. Yeah.
So I'm on my journey to become the most high value I can. I'm trying to grow this brand.
Yes.
I'm about to
Love that.
drop the merch, about to have the Patreon, the YouTube. Like I'm really trying to grow this thing and
Yeah.
teach men a bit better about, masculine frame and all that stuff. Eventually, next say 3 or 4 years, my goal is to be a high six-figure earner and I'm gonna be handsome as hell. At that point,
Love
I'm
this.
and at that point, I'm gonna be at my peak where I am, competent, financially stable, handsome, have a nice place, have a nice car. I'm what a woman wants. Now, before I was chasing the nines, the tens,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now it's like, wait a minute, he has what we want. He's a provider. Now I have the women coming to me. Now, here's the dynamic though. If you mention you don't like the handsome guy because the handsome or high value guy because he makes you feel like an option, which is true. Because when I get to the top, I'm gonna pick and choose my options now. And every girl I will date will know there's other. They'll see a hair in the bed. Like they'll know that they're an option. But this is where I feel like now that I feel like I'm the prize now. Women now have to basically, in a way, this sounds weird, but in a way, compete to know, no, I'm the best woman for you. But you said I'm the opposite. I want a man to, fight for me. So kind of explain that dynamic because sometimes men who have the money, the power, the looks, they may go, Rachel, no, sorry, Morgan, if you're not going to show up, then like, yeah, screw you. What's your opinion on that?
So yeah, so you just said I'm the prize. You want to be the prize.
Yeah, I'm
And
working on it.
I think that and they talk about this a lot in girl
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
like guys who think they're the prize, like walk away. You don't want those guys because it's always going to be like you're going to be the one working in the relationship and they're going to be the one, you know, it's high, it's really high maintenance and it's quite masculine for a girl to be in that dynamic.
Mhm.
And I think that a lot of guys are, I mean, just look on TikTok, like a lot of guys do think that they're the prize. And um I just feel like it's really at odds with natural order. just because of how we're biologically wired. Like, did you know, for example, that like when a man gives to a woman, his testosterone actually increases, and at the same time, a woman's estrogen increases. Like, this creates a bond between men and women. And so when you have things like the prize, you know, when guys think that they're the prize and women have to be fulfilling the masculine role, you know, or simping is so chastised and overused in different contexts. And so now men are scared of being nice to girls or like doing things for girls. We have a problem, because I mean, that's literally how men and women function, like create bonds. So I think that while I absolutely think that you should become the most high value man that you possibly can, and I do believe that you should exercise as many options as you can, but you need to know exactly what you're looking for. And when you find her, when you find your dream girl, you go all in and pursue her and make her feel like a queen, and you have her. And then that is the most harmonious dynamic that you could have, when you have a truly feminine woman, not a woman who's in her masculine, chasing you, you know, doing things. You don't want those girls. Like, those girls are not going to lead to like a happy life. They're fun. They're good short term. You will get laid. You maybe you'll, you know, get half the bills paid, which I know you're probably not interested in, but
No,
like,
no.
they're fun shorter term until they try to start controlling things. You know, any woman that's okay with chasing you, or, you know, being an option into a relationship, for example, like, in my opinion, might not lead to happiness. I think true natural order is like the women are the egg, are the prize, are the pursued, and men who are truly in their masculine, like, find your dream girl, get her, and then like, you know, have a good, happy marriage,
Absolutely. So
or
let's talk
life
about,
if you don't want to get married.
yeah, of course. Let's talk about
Yeah.
the option thing, right? Because I feel like
Yeah.
for example, say if I DM'd you and we had a FaceTime conversation, I know I'm one of many. I'm not naive to think of a girl with green eyes and blonde hair, nice veneer like teeth is I'm the only person they're entertaining, right? So when you say option, I feel like any guy above a 7 who's high value has options. So how do you like know if a guy's just, you know, giving his energy to you only and just you?
Oh, you don't. But the thing is, women want men who are wanted, just like
True.
men want
Oh
women
yeah.
who are wanted by
Oh yeah.
other
We
men,
do. We do.
because it's for slightly different reasons, but it's all the same thing. Like, men want to make their friends jealous. Like, you
Oh
guys
yeah,
want
dude. Pull up with
status,
that bad one, like, that's you, bro. I'm like, that's me.
because she's a reflection of you. You know,
Yeah,
it's a little different, a little bit more nuanced for women. Like, we want to know that, like, oh, this man has something to offer in a
true.
relationship. Like, if other, and it's the same thing, look, with like designer stuff. How many people just covet Gucci? You know, it's like, but not everyone can have it because of the price point. It's like,
True.
it's a psychology thing. People want what other people want. And so it's not, I've dated guys that I know have options.
Mhm.
I date on a roster,
Yeah, of
you know
course you
what I
do. Yeah.
mean? Yeah. So like, that's not bad. It's just, how are they coming to me, and how are things progressing? And, you know, like, there are guys that I've dated, there's been standouts, of course. Like, how is that, you know, going? I feel like the problem that happens sometimes with red pill and girl game and all this stuff is like, which I value. I'm very logical, and it kind of creates a formula on paper for how to do things. And that's great. And I think that it informs your strategy. It has you move better, more strategically, so that you can get the best situation for yourself. Right. But I think people get so hung up on the age thing and you know, am I a 7 or a 7.5? You know, like, it's at the end of the day, like, what it doesn't account for is like connection, is the personality, compatibility, is the shared values, is how does this person make me feel? You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
there could be like a baddie 10, just like size D boobs and a 20-inch waist,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, if that's a guy's thing and that's just what his dream girl is, I know I don't have any competition with that. But if the guy in question, like, maybe likes deeper conversation, maybe like someone more feminine or with a more natural beauty, like, then I know, like, then he's probably more my type. You know what I mean? And I think those conversations are not had as much in these communities. And I think that that's reality at the end of the day. I think, you know, we could objectify. And I fell into this trap too when I first fell into girl game land. I was objectifying myself a lot, and I was objectifying men a lot, and I was showing up like, I think when people show up on dates, they're very like, it's like a facade, of like really who they are, because vulnerability is a thing and
Yeah.
you kind of want to put your best foot forward. So, but it's all BS, and like you have to really know who you are and what you like. Like, what do you like in a woman? Like, what do you like to talk about? Do you like a woman that's more cultured? Do you like a woman that, has seen the world, or that is well read, or that has interesting conversation? Like, all of those intricacies are important too. And so, yeah, just getting as specific with who that dream girl is for you. And for me, I have the same kind of process, like exactly what would make me happy across all the data that I have. Who have I gotten along with the best? What qualities do I like? What don't I like? And then once you find that one person, like, be happy with that one person. I yeah, I
Absolutely.
is how I
Um,
would approach it.
Absolutely. So one point you mentioned, or I was thinking about when you said something, was I don't mind being a girl's option. Only thing I want from her, I want to get okay, I feel like, tell me if I'm wrong. Girls have a hierarchy of effort. I may talk to four dudes, but there's that one that I do more for than the rest. Is that something you do, or do you all give them the same effort across the board?
I don't think I give I don't think I would even call my participation effort, but like, I will respond to whatever a guy is giving me. I'm not pursuing any of the guys in my roster, but like, yeah, is it like, will I go on a trip with him, or will
Sure.
I,
Yeah.
there are
Yeah.
some guys
Sure.
I
Sure.
wouldn't, and I've turned down some because I just don't want to be alone in a foreign country with one of these guys,
Exactly.
you
So it's
know.
like one guy you will. I'm not sure. The word effort was the best. So like I think what I'm trying to say. Basically, one guy you see. Okay, out of, let's say you're talking to four guys. There's one guy you actually see yourself with long term.
Oh,
So he get
1,000%.
okay.
You
Okay.
all you we have
Yes.
higher nature is hierarchical. You will always
Exactly.
have parents will say they don't have favorite kids. They have
Yeah, they
favorite
do. They do.
kids,
They do. So for me, it's
Yeah.
like, so after say first date, second date, third date, I'm expecting to be still in the with the rest. But on that third date, by then, hopefully, I start to go into an upper echelon of effort to where, for example, let's just say we made time to see each other once a week. Maybe at that point we start making time. This is what happened with this chick I talked to. She's a law student. She's into books all day. One day she texts me saying, "Hey, I start school at 11. You want to squeeze in a walk from 9 to 10:30?" Right? So now it's
Mhm.
making time versus free time. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
with I like that's what I want to see. Like as I start to get higher in the dates, like third and fourth, has the effort increased? Because that's where I like it to be, because to me I feel like I've earned it. You know what?
Mhm.
First through third, I was, just with the other tender boys you match with, you're just getting to know them. But with my conversation skills and my masculinity and my leadership, you know what? I'm gonna make more time for him. That's what happened with this chick. We started to make time instead of free time. So do you have that same type of mindset with when it comes to guys that, after maybe the third or fourth date, you start to, have the hierarchy, or not so much?
I mean, yeah. And even to get to like third or fourth day, I have to like I don't like wasting my time. Like,
Gotcha.
I would rather be like alone the rest of my life than like waste my time with the wrong person or not enjoy myself, so
Mhm.
if I'm even on a first date with you, I like you enough and I find you engaging enough or whatever.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, if that continues to build, absolutely, I'll give you more of my time. I'll make more time. Yeah, I get what you're saying with effort now. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll alter my schedule so that I
Yeah,
can see you,
exactly.
because I'm naturally
Mhm.
going to want to do that.
True.
But I am in the beginning very, yeah, I have more boundaries. And then
True.
as I
Yes.
see that the guy is putting forth more effort and then maybe I can trust that he's more serious, then I'll start. Because the thing with girls that's different with guys is that we are very emotional creatures.
I know that.
And yeah, and we can get attached quite easily. So part of girl game is like not like letting a guy see you 3 days in a row or
Oh, hell
5 days
no.
a week or whatever
No.
initially,
I see him once. I see him
because then you're going to
once.
get attached. Yeah, exactly.
Just
So
once, man. Because
Yeah.
I think a lady, especially as yourself, who's looking for the more high value men, if a guy asks to see you Monday through Thursday, dude, don't you have a freaking job? Like it almost turn you off. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So to me, I tell guys, man, listen, like, don't be seeing a girl. Here's the thing though. They're younger. They're 18, they're 19, they have a lot more time on their hands. Some of them don't even know what they want to do yet. So they have way more time. I say, hey, like a girl will respect you a lot more if you can try see her. At the max, bro, do it twice. And don't do it back to back. You know what I mean? Try it,
Yeah.
give some space to it. Let her know that, you're somewhat busy in something, either your job, your purpose, the gym, your person, whatever it is. Like try to be busy with something. Because I feel like
Mhm.
a super available man is a turnoff to some, not all women, but some women.
Oh no, no, and vice versa. They say with girl game, be busy, be booked and busy, like get your hobbies right, like
Mhm.
have your personal development stuff right, go to the gym, like
Yep.
make sure that your schedule is actually filled. So and like never accept a first proposal, like, oh, actually, can we do it on this day because like you have stuff going on. So I think across the board, because it shows that you're in demand and that you have things going on and that you're interesting and that you're not your whole existence isn't about dating or this one girl, right?
Okay. So
Um,
let's talk about let's do another one for the boys real quick. So
yeah.
a lot of times guys struggle with the I'll let you know. Okay. When say we're getting to know each other, I ask for your availability. Um,
Mhm.
when you say I'll let you know, do you genuinely mean it, or is it more? Okay, see, okay,
If I've
guys.
ever
So
said that to a guy, I'm just like, no, that
see,
it's a no.
and a
If
lot
a
of
girl wants
times.
to see you, she'll see you. Yeah.
Exactly. I made a video like about that, and a lot of girls are commenting, "But there's finals. You're so insensitive, and girls are busy too." I get it. I get it. But if you had finals, you would say this. Hey, listen, this we got finals. How about next week? You'd actually give a proposal instead of saying, "I'll let you know." You
Yeah.
know what I
Oh,
mean?
exactly.
I
Yeah.
feel like if a girl
That's what
wants
I
to see
do.
you, she will make time. And I can say that 100% because when I started weeding out low interest women and just going for high, I asked them,
Hmm.
what's your availability? Friday at 5:30 when we're going to grab a drink at so and so. Yes, it's done just like that. There was no
Yeah.
hoops, no jumping through anything. It was straight to the point.
Love
So I always
that.
tell guys is just like make sure you're gonna sleep better at night. Going for chicks that actually have interest in you because the low interest ones will make you rip your hair out.
Yeah, it's and that is simping. And that I think is the difference. Like
Yep.
in this strategy, it's like if you're giving in so much investment to a girl who's not that interested in you, that's absolutely simping. But if you're
Sure.
doing it in a pursuit, it's like there's a mutual interest, you're
Mutual, that's the thing,
showing.
mutual.
Yeah, but you have to gauge that and not be delusional. If you're like a 6 or a 5 as a dude and you're going after the 9s and 10s, like don't expect a high return. Like that's simping. You're setting yourself up to simp, you
Yeah,
know?
true, and that's
Yeah.
where I struggle sometimes, where I'm having consultations with guys. They'll call me, we'll talk, and they'll show me, like, the girl they're going after. I'm like, "Fuck."
I know.
And it's like, I can't tell them, "Bro, this one's out of your league," because
You have
technically, no
to.
girl is
You
out
have to.
technically not all okay. I don't like telling guys girls are out of the league because it makes her, like, don't think that, shoot for the stars, but at the same time, be ready to walk away when things aren't going your way. Because, for example, there's some plenty of girls out there who are beautiful who just like attention, right? A guy Snapchatting them, a guy texting them is enough. When that
Mhm.
guy asks for their time, oh, I'm busy. How about next week? So basically, she's just breadcrumbing, just dropping breadcrumbs and just picking them up. And it's like, dude, I know you because she's responding to you and she's being nice to you. You think that there's interest, but there isn't. And they get so caught up and they keep chasing for months and months. And she's able to flirt a little bit, give them a little bit of hope, but never see him. And that's what drives these guys that DM me up a wall.
Yeah, I think people just need to be super honest with themselves.
Yeah.
Like once I understood like what a guy does when he's actually interested, for example, and what he does when like he has a lot of options or like, you're maybe third on the roster or something,
Mhm.
it helped me so much because I was just like, oh, okay, like next, like I'm going to put my energy somewhere else, for example. And I think that I mean, you're saying you don't want to tell them because of the egos. The best thing that you could give them tough love. Like, I just think, for example, if you're dealing with like guys who are a six
Okay.
guy, like he's not earning a ton, he's maybe 18, 19,
Yeah.
like average looks, the best strategy that anyone could give to a man like that is like maybe put in all the effort that you're putting into these girls into yourself. Like, go to the gym, go get your bread up, focus on you, like ruthlessly focus on you for like 6 months, 1 year. If you want to play, whatever, like go for the, sixes, sevens, maybe, like, but you're not going to find your dream girl if you're not the dream version of yourself. You know what I mean? And
Facts.
so, guys at that stage, it's like, it's great. I mean, it's like a seed, right? Like, and you want that seed to grow into the best, strongest tree possible, for example. And in order to do that, you need to, like you said, put yourself first. If you're so focused on girls, you're not even at your, like, not even close to
Not
your
even close.
peak at all.
28 to
So
30
do you
is like a
think you're
guy's
going to
peak. Yeah.
get you think you're going to get these girls who are at their peak, 22, like slamming body,
Yeah.
whatever, like it's, but those same guys, when they hit 27, 28, 29, 30, the game is totally, totally different. The game is just different. Like, they're more established. That's like an aphrodisiac to younger girls, especially. Like, you just have way more to offer, way more confident. You know yourself a lot more. Like, I think guys dating before, like seriously before the age of 25, do it to get laid. Do it, although I think, hiring a sex worker is a little bit more ethical, but
Mhm.
do it to understand what you like and what you don't like, and to learn about yourself, but don't do it seriously. Like, you're not in the best position until, at least in my opinion, after 25 at least.
I understand that 100%. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to tell guys that because, dude, they're young, horny, with a bunch of testosterone. They want to bang something. But at the same time, I always try to tell them, hey, look, man, you got to realize that you aren't a woman's prime option at the moment. You're
Mhm.
young, you don't have any much money. You live with your mom and dad. Nothing wrong with that. You're young. But if you just grind, man, and just really just put into self improvement, read the proper
Mhm.
books, listen to the right podcast, get in good shape. By the time you're that prime age, you'll be ready to go. And that's what I'm working my ass off to do. Because
Yeah, I love that.
I just, man, like my goal is to be up in a nice apartment in LA and have social proof, a good circle of high value men around me. And I don't have to chase nearly as much because chasing is fun, but it'd be nice to open up my DM and see a couple girls who are gorgeous saying, "Hey, big head." I'm like, "Oh, what's up with you? I'm used to chasing you. Now you're on my DM. That's great." But let's talk about masculine men. Okay. So,
Mhm.
what are some traits that you look for when you're looking for a potential mate partner? Not
Uh,
looks, the stuff on the inside.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Masculinity is like first and foremost, and I can't even help that. I'm just so attracted and like drawn to very masculine men,
Mhm.
men that have their stuff together. It's very attractive. Men that, like, I just can relax around, it's women in their feminine. It's a relaxed energy. Like, and I feel that around very masculine men, whether it's like because of finances or just their build. Like, it's something that I'm aware happens to me, and I like being in that space. Um, I seek, or yeah, I find myself getting along the best with like very, very intelligent men, and not just like book smart, but like
Yeah.
curious guys who like learning about things and have their own opinions, because it fosters a really good conversation. And I need that if I want to get, to other phases of attraction, like physical and emotional and all of that.
Okay.
I I like very entrepreneurial men, like men that work for themselves and don't have a boss,
Sure.
or,
Facts.
like what you're doing, like you
Yeah.
making your own content, whatever.
Mhm.
Which is, it's commendable versus like, a guy who's an analyst at a finance firm. Well, he might be making more
Yeah. Good
money right
job. Yeah.
now. He's still like not doing his own thing, and he has to answer to another man, which
Absolutely.
is emasculating. What else do I look for? Very um just protective, like just their instincts, very traditional. I like being treated a certain way, and I just,
Mhm.
it's like this dance that happens, and I think we've lost it as a culture. And so not no one like knows exactly how to move, you know what I mean? Because like
Absolutely.
guys don't know if they're going to get their heads ripped off for pulling out a chair, and like, it's a
Yeah.
lot that's happening right now.
Okay. I like
So
that.
yeah.
So Let's go to the entrepreneurial thing. I always tell guys,
Yeah.
I'm in just a couple videos on it, is I don't think man or woman, honestly. Actually, I'll speak on men because that's what I've studied the most about is this that you won't be truly happy until you're doing something you truly love for money. You know, like
Yeah.
eventually, I'm almost at my 4,000 watch hours for YouTube so I can get monetized. Like eventually I will be getting 4 to even 5 figure, even hopefully one day 6 figure checks a month from just doing this, having
Hmm.
conversations with people, legit. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Like, dude, I'm actually getting paid a living to just podcast and make YouTube videos and make TikToks. Like, it almost seems like unfair, right? It almost seems
Hmm.
unfair. Some people are working 9 to 5 and getting $600 a week, and every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And they're
Yeah.
working their butt off. You know, and I'm over here making, let's say like 10 grand a month just off of just doing this, right? And bidding is I worked hard. I posted a video every single day. I went on live and talked for hours. I do free Zoom calls for people, like a group, like 8, 10 people. And I just value, just give as much value as possible. And the
Hmm.
world will reward me financially for bringing all the value to the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I
a
love
woman would be a
that.
lot more attracted to a guys. I have my own, YouTube channel. I'm also a videographer. That's my a source of income. I'm a videographer. So they'd be
Sweet.
much more attracted to a guy like that than a guy that, I work at a bank. Money's okay. It makes 50, 60K. But to me, they may see me as this guy's a hustler because like
Hmm.
he went out and made this business from zero and now he's doing well. So he has that more of a hustler mindset of like something good to pass on to offspring. Our daughter can be an entrepreneur, our son can be an entrepreneur because he is as well.
1,000%. I mean,
Yeah.
spot on. I think not a lot of, there are some girls that, I mean, they hear like, oh, real estate, or they hear finance, or, and they're automatically like, oh, like that's good.
Yeah.
So it's not, if some people aren't put on, you know what I mean? But
Sure.
like, I am very like anti-establishment. I'm very like, I value my independence and my freedom more than
That
anything.
freedom,
So
dude.
like,
Ooh, that freedom's crazy.
yeah, so I'm attracted to other men who have those same values, like being an entrepreneur, doing exactly what you're doing, grinding, like believing in yourself to the point of like creating content and throwing it into the ether of the internet, you know what I mean, because
Mhm.
of your ideas and the consistency. Like it all um shows that value that you have, like you want that freedom and you want to work for yourself and you want to monetize your intellectual property,
Yeah,
that's like a very specific personality type. um, so I think
for
that's
sure.
very masculine versus, a lot of the other
Absolutely.
guys who might be earning more and might have stable job their whole lives because they have a great resume, but
Mhm.
it's different values at the end of the day.
Sorry, some girl tried to call me, but I'll text her. Say I'm in a show. Actually, let me text her right now and make sure she doesn't do it again. One sec, because she will call back. In a show. One sec. Okay. So let's give some more game to the fellas here. Okay, let's do it. What are some things you're looking for on the first date, right? So first date happens, right? For example, down to like the car, how he's speaking, presentable, what he
Hmm.
talks about. So give some game, tell some guys how to properly do this first date thing correctly.
Yeah. It's so funny. There are so many things that are unconscious. Like I was
Sure.
like, I didn't even know, because a lot of guys I date, I think all of them probably show up looking great and with like
Nice.
good style. But yeah, if I would, for example, I made a joke because I'm in Mexico right now, so everything's very casual here. And one of my
Sure.
guy friends was asking me what shoes he should wear to a date. And I knew he's like a fuck boy, so he was just trying to screw this
Okay.
girl. And I made a joke. I was like, "Well, I would never sleep with a guy that showed up to a first date wearing flip flops." Like
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
think
weird.
the whole how you're looking, keep
Presentation's
it
important.
sharp. Yeah, because it's branding, it's personal branding. You're
Mhm.
like literally, this is your very, very first impression. And
Absolutely.
while looks aren't completely everything for me, it's like you can tell so much about a man based on the kinds of
Oh,
clothes that he's
dude,
wearing.
it's crazy. You can look at somebody and go, okay, this guy probably listens to this type of music, has this type of friends, like just by just looking how he dresses. But continue.
No, 1,000%. It's actually a small anecdote. I'm when I moved to Mexico, I moved to Playa del Carmen, where I am right
Nice popping
now.
spot.
And I was in Tulum, where you saw my story
Mhm.
yesterday, because I was looking at apartments because I'm moving there on Friday or Saturday of this
Moving
week.
there, like living.
Mo- yeah, well, I moved to Mexico. I'm Yeah, because the
Oh
pandemic
wow.
was, I was like losing my mind in New York.
Oh
Like you're
true.
saying that you went really deep. I
Okay.
went really deep in some
Okay.
other areas. I was like, I gotta like not be alone,
Okay.
in perpetuity. So, but I'm going to Tulum and I go down there and it's like all the guys that I'm looking at, they're just crisp clothes, like really tailored, great shoes. And then I come back to Playa and it's just all chill. It's like
True.
very
Very
like,
true. Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, I'm making the right decision to like who I'm being surrounded by. Like you can just tell it's like nonverbal cues, you know what I mean? It's like how you're communicating who you are and what you value just by how you're dressing. So
Just some
that's
tips. Some dressing is important.
crucial. Oh yeah. And guys, if you have a girl like that's a friend or your friends, I love shopping for men. I love it. I've shopped for men on multiple occasions, from like footwear to coats to like whatever. Girls love shopping for guys. Get a girl to like give you a makeover, like a girl that you trust her style. I see so many men, they have so much potential. They just need to like get a better haircut and like
Dude, I
get
tell
better
guys, dude,
clothes.
bro,
Yeah.
haircut and some new
Hair is
clothes can
so
change a
everything.
man. Dude, like here,
180.
I'm gonna see if I can pull up for people who are watching on the YouTube right now and not on Spotify. You are missing out on this photo I'm about to show her. This is me, high school, no date at the homecoming, but a girl felt bad and walked up to me and took a photo with me because I was one of the only guys with no date. Hopefully, I can find the next 10. Here it is. Okay, here we go. Zoom it in. Okay.
What a glow up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
You
hands on
poor
my
thing.
shoulder, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to put my hand on her waist. It's like that was a little too aggressive. Kept my hands to myself. You know what I'm saying? This is me at
Wow.
15 and a half. Okay. So
You're
I've
such a baby.
I know what it's like to get no female attention. So now that bathing in it. But anyway, so back to
Yeah.
the so guys, a good haircut. Listen, go to a good barbershop or even salon, and I guarantee you, the girl or guy who's cutting hair has cut your hair, a type of person's hair like that before. And they'll know, oh, try a low fade taper, try a comb over, try something different. And its hair will grow back in 2 weeks. Try something new. I guarantee you it will spice it up. So we've established maybe a new haircut, maybe new clothes. Anything else that I can help a guy on the first day as far as, I don't know, where he wants to take you, his car,
So there are
conversation.
some, I look at a guy's watch. I
Okay.
think I
Okay.
do this very unconsciously. Like my
Me too.
father
Me
always
too.
had very nice watches. Like I think it's a very like dignified, established thing. Even if it's not a Rolex, guys, don't go like getting into debt, like getting a
Yeah.
Rolex,
You can
but
get
a
those
really
like a
like,
Seiko. You can get your Grand Seiko, stuff like that.
yeah, like
Beautiful
a
watches.
bulky, a masculine, just like watch. I don't know. I
Mhm.
think it makes you look more established, like more serious. I think that it's a really good touch, and it's like a subconscious
I
thing
feel
for
like
some girls.
I
Yeah.
feel like though the only thing I'll say is again the guys in my who watch me again like the 16 to 24 and most of them don't really have the watch game going. I have one watch and it looks like a Rolex. I want to see what you think. It's actually by Invicta, but a it looks like a, Yacht Master by Rolex.
Love it.
It looks like looks
Love
like a
it.
yacht master, and
Yeah.
I only wear it though when I'm menswear. Like I have like a coat and like a button, so it looks. But I'm wearing my streetwear stuff. You see my Instagram page, like it's all streetwear stuff.
Yeah.
Watches aren't really on my
Part
thing,
of
but
it.
I'm not gonna tell you. I look at watches too, because I can tell a lot by
Yeah.
what kind of watch he's wearing.
It's like a
So
big dick thing. It's
yeah,
like,
big.
no, it's like,
Yeah,
like a guy's big dick around each other. Like it's
yeah,
like that. It's like a signal of like, oh yeah, I got,
yeah, true. Facts, hundred
it's like
percent.
a wrist dick. No,
So
just kidding.
let's go into like conversation, right? So what are some things that
Yeah.
you like when men bring up or don't like when or like no they bring up that you don't like? So you can kind of talk about conversation real quick.
Yeah. So I don't like when guys get sexual or like
I made
try
I made a video on
to,
that. Yeah.
yeah, it's such a turn off. Unless you guys, it's established that this is like a fuck girl, you're a fuck boy, and like that's where this is going, like
Hmm.
go for it. But high value woman, I don't want you to make any sex jokes or like bring it up multiple times or try to get info. Guys think that they're slick trying to get info out of us. Like, we
Yeah.
know, okay, like we know what's happening. We don't like it. So save it for like down the line, maybe like after you guys have engaged in some
That's why I tell
physical
guys, wait till after
stuff,
you've done it, then you can start bringing some jokes and
then
stuff
you
like that.
open the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
So um I like talking about shared experiences. I like talking. I'm a very particular person though, right? Like I am just exploring different rabbit holes constantly. I love talking about it. I love this conversation is great. You have your own opinions you're bringing to the table. I'm bringing my opinions. They differ,
Absolutely.
and we're talking, and it's interesting. Like that's what
Absolutely.
I like
Facts.
from men when it's mentally stimulating. I don't like a guy who's agreeing with me. I don't like a guy who doesn't have his own opinions
That's
about
true. A lot
things.
of guys like, I don't want to make her mad. Let's go. Yeah, you're right. Oh,
No,
yeah,
no,
you're right.
no.
Yeah, you're right.
Make her mad. And it's also a good test because if she actually gets mad, like you told me you disagreed with me, did I like, bite your head off?
Mhm.
No. It's like interesting and we can have an adult discussion about it. Like if a
Absolutely.
girl is getting triggered or whatever, like maybe she's not in a good place to enter into something,
Absolutely.
serious. So, or yeah. So I like when there's some tension when like when there's enough in common too that you can really go a lot deeper in conversation with. I'm dating this guy right now, and it's funny. His friend like reached out to me because I have on my hinge that my most controversial opinion is that Jordan B. Peterson is the most important mind of today.
I love
Because
it.
I basically figured I'm like, okay, all the guys who are super liberal are like
Oh, are gonna exit out. Like, yeah. Well,
exit out, which I don't. I'm not like a Republican,
yeah.
conservative, but my beliefs are not liberal. Like
Okay.
they veer more on that side of it.
Okay.
Um, but I don't get along with with very liberal people or who don't get along with Jordan Peterson's
I
ideology.
would
Like
say
I have
extreme liberals
alignment.
because I feel like a lot of liberals can deal with it, but it's the extremists who think like, dude, I almost want to make a video where I'm talking to myself with wigs and go, there's only two genders. No, there's not. Oh no, no, like no, a trans women are women. Okay, well, how about this? I legit put a wig on. Am I a woman now? And they go, no. I go, why not? Like, why aren't I a woman now?
Yeah, it's
But I feel like I don't want to go into that. Just keep it on dating. I know I can easily get the views and bait and go there, but
yeah.
yeah, I agree.
It's
Like,
something I'm not interested in touching. You
no,
guys can have it.
yeah, true.
It's cool.
Yeah,
I
jerk
talk
it.
about things I
Nothing
have
else.
experience with too, and I don't have experience with that. So, although I do have opinions. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, so I basically did it. So I weeded out guys who aren't traditional and
True.
who don't think that he's at
Smart,
least valid
intelligent.
in yeah, or intelligent. So and it's great because the conversation I have with this guy is like excellent. We just talk about different podcasts that Jordan has been featured on recently,
Mhm.
and we talk about feminism and how it's just a lie, and we talk about a lot of things. We share the same views, although he eats plant-based and I don't. So that's like a point of, oh, we'll go back and forth and
Okay.
have interesting conversation about that. But he has his own opinions about things and he brings those to the table and introduces me to things that I haven't thought about.
That's good.
Like I need a guy to
Teach you something, man.
teach me things. Yeah, like I need that. I feel like I teach myself a lot, daily. I'm very curious, like I said, and I travel and I, read about different theories and tests and whatever. And I love it when I meet someone who is similar and who has, complementary things that I haven't thought about. Or even like guys I also like are men who are like experts in like their field. So like real estate guys, for example, like who have just made a hugely successful career in their area of genius. Like they can talk my ear off about business and, certain things that I maybe don't have a lot of knowledge about. So guys who also have complementary um things about them that kind of fill in gaps of myself. It makes for an interesting thing because then I can teach them about some things, even though it's not exactly that energy. It's more like
Okay.
more of a back and forth, I guess. I would never want to
Absolutely.
like teach a man like, you
I would
know.
tell guys that I like for me, I know a lot about a little, right? I
Mm,
grew up surfing, I grew up
mm,
skateboarding, I'm a wrestler, football player. great soccer player, guitarist, videographer, photographer, work out. Like we can talk about all that. You know what I mean?
I love
So
that. Yeah.
so I can, so whenever she tries to bring up conversation, I may know a bit or know a lot. And it's dope. So it's that's why I tell guys to also, a lot of men may go to work and come home and then bar on the weekends and repeat. I feel like their life would get so much more interesting if they try to pick up a hobby. For most men, I tell them, dude, go boxing, do jujitsu, like
Mhm.
do something that makes you dangerous. Or Jordan say, men should be monsters. I feel like, I think it's adequate for men to be that's how Jordan Peterson talks. But anyway, I was like, oh, she's not. She's looking at me weird, like, dude, that's fucking Jordan Peterson. But
Is
yeah,
that a Jordan Peterson impression? Just
that's
like
true.
kidding. Okay.
Men should be monsters, so I feel like men should be out learning. Because here's the thing, I've never been in a street fight, right?
Mm.
I've been in
Mhm.
confrontations in school where I grabbed the
Mhm.
guy by the throat or their shirt and I shoved them and they never did anything. But now that I've been boxing for the past year, I'm almost invited. Let's just say I'm at a bar with you, right? Guy bumps into me. Hey man, hey, chill, come on. The second time, dude, do it again, I'm gonna knock you out. So it's like now the confidence is there to get dangerous if I need to be. I'm not looking for
Yes.
fights, but if I'm out with a woman, I have to prove to her that I can protect her when she's with me. I'm gonna go there, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely. For
I've done it,
yourself
yeah,
too,
to myself
makes
too.
you feel like
Yes,
powerful. You should feel that
exactly,
as a man. Yeah.
true. Because I feel like it'd be a turn off for you if you're out with a guy and he was maybe disrespecting him, and he just sat there and did nothing about it, trying to not rock the boat. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. I had this one time in Paris, I was living there and we got into a cab. It was me, my girlfriend, and my guy friend. And the cab drivers in Paris will fuck you over if you don't
Oh
like,
no,
if
know
you're
your
not.
things.
Yeah. And so he thought I was some tourist. I was like living there at the time and I called him out on
Oh,
taking like the long road and he got furious with me. And when I got out of his car, he like threw his cell phone at me,
his cell
at my
phone.
head.
He's gonna
Yeah.
need
He
that
was
cell phone. What the hell?
just a
Like,
psycho. Yeah.
okay,
And like he was just like super mad.
okay,
I think thankfully didn't hit me. I'm fine.
okay.
But my guy friend was there and did just like fucking nothing. And I just like it was like this ick that and not that I would have dated him, but it was just like you weak motherfucker. You know what I mean? It was just like useless. Like you're fucking useless. Make yourself useful. Like women want to feel like if he had saved the day, maybe I would have, had some attraction to him even. You never know.
Hey,
Like it's like an aphrodisiac, you know what I mean? Like I feel like men have these fantasies about being the hero. Like
yeah,
women have fantasies about getting saved, you know what
yeah,
I mean? And so like if you're not in a position to like save a bitch, like put yourself in one. Like
true.
make sure that you're a fighter and you are an aggressor and you're a predator, frankly. Men are predators, like not in a bad way, not like sexual
I know,
predators or like
yeah,
whatever,
I
but
know
like
what you meant, but
your
they
job
get
is
it.
to hunt women and to protect women. And there's been such a war in the Western world, especially on masculinity in so many different like facets that's like lost. And it's, I think, to make us as a collective weaker generally, but like, yeah, men who really sink into that, it's just that is so hot. It's like very attractive for a woman. So you're talking about increasing your game, like sink into that part of your masculinity, into your hunter, predatory, like will kill someone if anyone fucks with me or my family kind of
Absolutely.
vibe. Like it's very attractive.
I was
Yeah.
watching this video by AMS. You know who AMS is?
No.
Okay, so I consider him the leader, right? So I'll send you the link. He
Okay.
is probably the leader of the modern day red pill. Okay. Now,
Okay.
sometimes he can get a little too far, sometimes, and
As they do.
his delivery is brash. Like
Okay.
one thing I respect about him, the mob came for me. They tried to cancel me back in January. You know about that?
Why?
You know about that?
No.
I'll
No,
get back to you in a
why?
second. So I'll write that down. So can't cancel me. I'll tell you what happened. So
Okay.
cancel. Okay. So AMS has he's a
Mhm.
black, so 6'4", 5", light skin black dude, bald with a nice beard.
Oh,
Um,
alpha
male
dating strategy.
strategies.
Alpha male
Male
I do,
strategy.
of course I know him. Yeah, I
Okay,
know
so you
him.
so
He
okay,
is
so okay, so one thing
yeah.
about him, he's never changed his delivery. He said, "But man, when you deal with these bitches are crazy." Like he hasn't changed his videos because to me, the mob came for me and I tweaked some things. Okay. But
Okay.
with him, the mob has definitely come for him. and he's still
Yeah.
the exact same.
Okay.
So I gotta give him props for that. But let's talk about me being canceled. So
Okay.
from 0 to 55,000 followers, it was too easy. I was going 2 to 700 followers a day. Nothing but echo chambers, nothing but DMs. You saved my life. Oh my God, you are this. You are
Wow.
wow. This is crazy, man. I'm letting my balls hang low. I'm calling girls. I say, hey man, when you're dealing with these bitches, sometimes like that's what I was saying. We're dealing with these bitches, bro. Blah 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 blah. And I was letting my nuts hang far because I felt that's what you need to do to grow quick, which was true. I was willing to
Mhm.
offend people, and that's how I grew so much. Guys like, yo, this
Mhm.
guy is so like he's so down to be offensive. I need this in this PC culture. I'm down for this guy. It's like off the
Mhm.
rails. He's not sitting
Mhm.
there going, when you're texting women, make sure. No, he loud. He's in your face. They love
Yeah.
that. They love that character because nowadays people who are like that get castrated and canceled. So a woman with about a 500,000 followers found my account. I made a video stating this without using the curse word just for YouTube, whatever. When you're dealing with these B words, no, wait. I said this. When you're on these dating apps and she says she doesn't want to link up because of COVID, drop the B word. And I explain, listen, she swiped right on you. She's on a dating
Mhm.
app. If she doesn't want to link up with you because of the COVID situation, she's probably using you for attention. You should not talk to her anymore.
Mhm.
And girls basically said that is pushing rape culture. Yeah,
Rape culture.
rape
Okay.
culture. Yeah. So they came for
How
my account.
how wait, no, wait. Please tell me what the logic was on that one. That's insane. That's such a heavy word to use. Like, why? How?
Mhm.
I don't understand.
So
What's the logic?
I was scratching my head too. Like that's nothing to do with rape. Basically saying you're a man and you feel like you're there's a word for it. Damn, I can't think of the word.
Entitled?
And you're entitled to a woman's body, and that's considered like a rape culture. Because
Okay, that's
she doesn't have to link with you if she doesn't want to.
insane.
If she wants to,
Then just get off the
the
dating
app,
app. And
then
the
get off
thing
the
is,
app.
yo, people get so fucking nuts when it comes to other people's dating preferences. Like,
True.
you're entitled to that preference,
Mhm.
period.
True.
You're not trying to like have non-consensual sexual relations with a
Mhm.
woman. Like, you're, oh my God. I really feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Sometimes when I read my comments, I'm just like, girl,
People are so
what?
yeah, true.
Yeah, you think I hate women? Okay. Yeah.
And
I hate women. I'm out
yeah,
here like talking about this stuff just because I hate women. That makes
true.
perfect sense.
That's
Okay.
so yeah. So
I have internalized misogyny. Yeah.
we're getting into that. So
Yeah.
I had a bunch of momentum going. I woke up to about 800 comments, mostly negative. You hate your mother. You never felt a woman's
Who
touch.
hurt you?
Who
I'm
hurt
sure.
you? Who hurt you? This is all misogyny. You hate women. If you hate women, just say that. I know it's small. All
Oh my
that stuff,
God.
right?
Of course
So
they do that.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is my first taste of the hate. I was feeling it actually. Okay, here we go. Like I've been asking for the smoke, and here it is, Chad. Are you gonna fold, or are you gonna keep going? Are you gonna double down? I doubled down. I made a
Sweet.
video. Now, mind you, I did two shoots that day. I did a wedding in the day and a photo shoot at night. It was like 11 o'clock.
Mhm.
Like, no, Chad, keep going. You post every day, no matter what. Make that video. I'm like, all right. It's like 11:20. I make the video and I say along the lines of this: Hello, my name is Chad, and all you feminists who got to my page, I'm about to school you B words. You're just mad that I'm teaching men how to wake up to your bullshit. For example, this is the one that set them off the most. You ladies will go on dates with multiple dates with a guy. Multiple means more than two. So this is 3 and 4 now, 3 and 4 dates. You don't like him, you just want free food, and you don't even want to sleep with them. When they heard sleep with them, they exploded. That's when that term sleep with him, that got me. Like they came for everything. I mean everything. They came my Instagram page, left over 99 DMs, kill yourself, blah blah blah. They they
Oh my
then they
God.
then found my government name, found my businesses I run, and wrote 1-star reviews. I have over 220 reviews on my wedding wire account.
Oh my
Rapist. Yes.
God.
They
Are
went and
you
found dead
serious?
ass. They went and found my mom's because if I look up your name, I can maybe find you on white pages and find your mom and dad and brothers and sisters. And they start calling me my mom. They then would also go on my Instagram page, and anybody that was tagged would get DMs. Hey, your friend is a this, he's a that, he's a this and a that. Like they did
Oh my
everything,
God.
right?
This is really like
And it's
unsettling.
tough because it's like it's cancel culture doesn't work on like a guy like Joe Rogan. He's freaking wealthy. He has hundreds of millions. You can't cancel a guy who has hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, he would sit up in his
Hmm.
mansion and go, haha, okay, right? But it's someone
Hmm.
who's on their come up. Cancel culture can really stop them because they haven't even made a dollar yet, or they're not even like there yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they did all of that,
Oh
right?
my God. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, is it worth it? Right? Because I wasn't trying to be controversial. I wasn't trying to be this bad guy. But then I
Hmm.
realized, yo, look at these people's profile pictures. I get to the profile pictures, fat, overweight, look built like Mrs. Potato
Every
Head,
time. Every time.
chains
Blue
around their neck,
hair,
blue hair.
piercings.
So it's like, that's who I'm up against. Why
Hmm.
am I caring? I've had one beautiful girl leave a comment or make a video about me. Not one. I, so it's like I realized that the enemy, like my enemy, is like the girl who drank milk underneath the bleachers at 6 in the morning. Like the rejected women
Yeah.
all come together in this LGBTQ community, and they feel like they're fighting their oppressors. And like, dude, how am I an oppressor? I'm fucking black, dude. The hell are you guys talking about? So like, they feel like they're fighting the patriarchy when they take down my account. You know what I mean? So they try to,
Joe Rogan talks about that. He talks about speaking of both of these things, he
yeah,
says that like it's never the pretty girls that are like the crazy feminists, SJW, like,
yeah.
you know, it's always the hot, it's always the ugly ones, basically.
They're
And like the hot
extremely
girls are
ugly.
like kind of like chilling, you
True,
know, because
because
they're
they don't mind.
benefiting.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, well, they're
benefiting.
benefiting. So why would they complain?
True.
You know?
And they know the games that like when I talk about the game, they know it works, and they like so it's like they're not mad. It's always the girls who are just the ones who were rejected. Like, girl, you're not
Yeah.
getting no male attention, so I get why your job is to put kill all men in your Instagram bio or your TikTok bio. Like, I get it. Like, no men give you attention, so it's okay. I understand you, baby. I
I
understand
think
you.
it's, yeah, I think it's, I don't think, I mean, I have a theory, and this is a little controversial maybe, but like that women specifically, men too, by the way, in the red pill community, I think feminism and red pill today, as like it is, or like the community that it attracts in large part, not all of it, but they're just, it's the same thing, but just for one's for men and one's for women. Like, and I think that it starts from like trauma. I think women who have, you know, really low self-esteem or had something happen traumatic in their life that, you know, did not facilitate like a healthy development necessarily, and maybe they gained weight because they don't, you know, think that they're worthy of being beautiful, or whatever it is. And then it's just this vicious cycle that feminism perpetuates, and that I think red pill can perpetuate. It's like this very victim based mentality, and victims need villains, and so then they choose people like you to attack to like validate their ideology, but it's just
Cool.
all bullshit.
So let's
Yeah.
talk about that red pill thing because that was interesting because I never heard that take. So I'll give my take on it as well.
Mhm.
Okay. Men become red pill two ways, in my opinion: trauma,
Mhm.
or they've been a player their whole life. I know a guy named Jermaine, 6'1", 6'2", clear skin, cheekbones, athlete, little southern accent. He said he became the way he is because he was banging everyone's girlfriend. He went to a D1
Mhm.
school and all these girls with boyfriends back home banging him out. And he's
Mhm.
like, wait a minute, if these girls have boyfriends and they're saying I love you and they're FaceTiming their boyfriend in my place after we just got done buzzing a nut in her face, why would I trust girls in general? Right. So he became
Mm.
red pill through banging everyone's chick. So no trauma. He was the one giving the trauma to other guys. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So for me, it's like, so I came red pill through trauma. Now
Mhm.
there's, to me though, I, I think of it as the hot stove. Chad, you see your homeboys are getting girls not doing what you're doing. I don't care. I'm gonna be different. Or, ooh, this is what I want to talk to you about. The nice guy, which was me, gets perpetuated through this. First, they believe what their mom tells them about women and the Disney movies and the songs. They believe
Mhm.
that. Then they get friend zoned by doing that. Then the
Mhm.
girl goes, oh, I hate my boyfriend. He's a jerk. He's a bad guy. Screw him. Hey, you don't
Mhm.
be like him. Like, don't be like him. Like, you'll get nowhere being like him. Then he learns to, like I did, to resent the bad boy, not like the
Mhm.
bad boy and not want to be him. And then when you take all these things you learn from women that they told you not to be, and you resent the bad boy, you kept getting, it's just friend zone again, friend zone again, friend zone again, until you realize, yo, the ones who they're complaining about, the ones who they're sleeping with.
Mm.
That was the hardest pill to swallow. No, that's not true. Like those guys just got lucky, or no. So to me, the red pill brought me that, yo, the girls who are complaining about these guys, think about, girls never complain about nice guys, always complain about the douchebags really as much. So I'm not a douchebag. What I've learned to do, man, listen, if you met me and we never had these talks or met you on TikTok, you never have known I'm red pill. You would never know. You would just know after you go, damn, this guy's kind of like, he's stern, right? That's the only way you'd know I'm red pills, by being stern. You wouldn't know because I'm very kind. I'll still open the door for you at a restaurant. I'll still, like, do the gentleman things. It's just I have a line in the sand. When it's crossed, I have to leave or tell you how I feel in a very respectful way. So what do you think about that? Because you used to talk about, like, red pills kind of, and feminism are kind of like the same. But what do you think about, based off what I just said?
I think that you and everything that you just said is healthy.
Yeah, sure.
And I think that you are applying it to the real world. You are working on yourself as a man. You have clear goals that you're working towards. You don't sound like you have a lot of bitterness that you're holding on to
Oh, no.
about women. Like, it sounds very measured, and I support that. I completely support that. And I think that when you have a clear mind, and when I say that, like, it's not muddled with a lot of trauma, unprocessed emotions, like bitterness, whatever. When you have a clear mind, something like red pill, and the truths about natural order that it unveils can be very beneficial, because what has it taught you to do? It's taught you how to set boundaries, what boundaries to set, what your value is, what the game is, what you want in a woman, what you seek. All that is great. And
That's
I
so true.
think that a lot of good can come of it. I
True.
will say, after creating a lot of content that has been shown via the TikTok algorithm to a lot of men who follow red pill, judging by like the qualitative data in my comment section, you are a minority in, or not a minority, but in the movement. But like, it's not the overarching sentiment. I don't see, for example, a lot of guys in my comments, they're all angry at me and commenting about my appearance and my age and just all of it. And it's like, that is not what, I don't support that. I don't think that you would ever do
Never.
that.
I
I mean,
never
I don't
never
know,
left
but
a hate comment on anyone's thing. Is, I don't have
yeah.
hate in my heart. I'm if I have nothing nice to say, just don't say anything at all.
No, but that's like alpha shit too. It's like, you don't ever, true alphas, men or women, would never want to bring down anyone else, because you're not threatened by anyone else and it doesn't concern you. So you will lift up other men, you will like lift up women, whatever, and it's all good because you know where you sit with yourself, because alphas compete with themselves first and foremost, you know. So but I see a lot of toxicity in the movement, and I
There
see a
is.
lot of victim mentality. I see a lot of men stuck in cycles of bitterness and anger, and it's so sad to me. And that's why I think it's akin to feminism, because feminism has the exact same thing, but men are the enemy. When you have an ideology that has a very victim based mentality, it's just toxic all around and it doesn't work. So I
How,
think I oh I'll let
how do
you.
these men, in your opinion, maybe fix, like, they're red pill, but maybe they're too deep and they're a bit more. It's like they sound bitter. They hate. How would you go about, if you were to talk to one? How would you go about trying to help them fix it?
I think the first step that men and women need, we need clear examples of like a role model or a mentor. Like, this is something that's so lost in modernity, and it's so sad. Like, women, we have a lot of old Hollywood stars that we can look to for femininity and hypergamy, and the softness, and how, what this like natural thing is for us to live as. We have that to look for. Men, maybe old Hollywood too, maybe it is those kinds of characters. But when we don't have example, or when we have an absence of masculinity, or when, I kind of think about it like, if you're taking a photocopy of a book, right, And so then you have this photocopy, it's the first copy, and then you lose the book and you need to make more copies. Like, so you take this photocopy and you photocopy that. And so then that copy is a little, there's some dots, it's not as clear. And then you lose the first copy. So now you just have the second copy, you have to make a copy again. And it gets more and more deteriorated with every copy that you make. And it feels like that's been the case because masculinity and femininity have not been encouraged in the culture. There was a clear line when contraception, I think, was invented, and the gates of sex opened and everyone was just having it with no barriers to entry. Men no longer had to prove themselves and prove themselves as safe, secure partners to procreate with. Now everyone could just screw everyone else, and there's no impetus to be a man or to have your shit together because you could just get laid because a girl thinks you're hot or whatever.
True.
So I think there's been this deterioration over time of both masculinity and femininity, and we're at the point now where men don't have any examples of other men to like live up to or to look up to. And so it's like we're just all kind of flailing, like learning girl game and learning red pill, which are just, they're truths, but when you don't see an example, it's hard to have real context, right? So I think that finding a role model for men, if I were to answer your question more directly, finding a role model, finding like true examples of masculinity, understanding at that core what masculinity is, provision, procreation, protection, like what working out, getting some muscle on you, like how
Facts.
masculine men move, and how high value people move. High value people are constantly looking to improve yourself. Like
Always.
while you may not be in your LA penthouse yet with
Mhm.
like models
Yep.
in your DMs, you are high value because you are working on yourself. You are self-aware and you are developing your person. That is high value. That is the key component to any high value person. Like, so the second component is to really understand that, and understand that if you are content with going to your job, coming home on the weekends, going to the bar and doing it all over again, that is not high value or
I think so
masculine
either.
or
Yeah.
any of it. And so like taking personal responsibility third, and accountability, and owning your own life. You don't like where you're at, okay? You don't like that women don't want to fuck you, change it. Like
Mhm.
everyone has the power to change whatever they want in their lives. You just have to like know what you want, make a plan, execute. Like you are in control. So
100%. I
like
like that.
letting go of this victim, like, oh, feminism and the women, it's like, yeah, feminism sucks. Okay. It sucks for me too as a woman, frankly, because now guys, although I've done a good
Vetted.
job now
Vetting. Yeah.
of like knowing who I'm going out with, and that I would never go out with any man who would expect me to pay half, but like it's something that I have to do now. I have to
Yeah.
see what kind of guy is this, like, is he more traditional, is he, X, Y, and Z. Like it's hard for me too. Now guys expect me to sleep with them really early into dating, and like that's not what I'm interested in. So like feminism has screwed everyone.
Got you.
And so, but I'm not sitting here crying about it. Like I'm honing my dating strategy. I'm making myself the best I can be personally. And I'm the last thing I'll say is like go out into the world and like experiment and discern.
Mhm.
Like I think with any ideology, it is can be very dangerous when it's taken in extremes. And I think a lot of the guys with red pill is they'll watch all the videos and they'll just be, that's what they do. It's like it's a hobby, which is great. Hobbies are great and interests are great. I fell down rabbit holes of girl game, but I was also simultaneously testing it. I was discerning it, and I was seeing what was true and what wasn't true, what worked for me, what didn't work for me. Like for example, guys in red pill say that women over 25 are useless, and so now they'll be in my comments basically talking to me like I'm this hag that's going to die alone, when like in reality I have a lot of success. I date with a 10 to 20 year age gap. Like so there are some things that like you need to test, and you need to see what actually works, what is the truth, what's the reality. Like here's what I'm learning here, this is like the basic skeletal structure of the thing, but like let me go out there and get into the real world and like test it, and
Mhm.
not get so hung up on the rules and this and that. And oh, you break the rules for alphas. Like if he was an alpha, you would have fucked him after that date. Like I've got on one of my recent videos. I'm like, I know that that's like a thing that guys say, but it's not the truth. And
For
that's how
all
you
women.
know.
Sure.
Yeah. So you're right. It does, it absolutely happens,
Not for
but
all
it's
women.
not this like, oh, you're 31. That means that it's over. Like, oh, like you didn't fuck him. That means he must not be an alpha or that you're lying. It's like let's all just calm down. It's Jordan Peterson calls it ideological possession. It's where like you're no longer talking to the person who has their own unique ideas and their own unique experiences that inform those ideas. You're just talking to someone that is parroting all of the information that they've been ingesting, and it's like it's dangerous because it's like a program, you know. And that's literally what feminism is. Like with these things that this thing that this community hates so much is all these girls possessed by this ideology and brainwashed and now living in their masculine, whatever. They're doing the same exact thing. It's like feminine to complain and to what and to talk about. It's like, no, go do your shit. Like go sack up. Like you don't like it, change it. That's And I think that red pill started with that. Like I know the origins of it really did attract men who wanted to be better and just wanted to move smarter. And I totally commend that. I just where it is now, I think it can get dark,
Absolutely.
honestly.
So back to,
Yeah.
role models, that's very important.
Yeah.
So I would say the most popular women right now, right, are the entertainers. Let's say Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B,
Cardi B, yeah.
City Girls. When it comes to, I bet you girls who are 18, 19 know them over who's that girl on the Shark Tank who's a woman? Not the
The
one
blonde one.
the blonde one. Like
I
I,
forgot
I
her
don't
name,
even know
but
her
yeah.
name, right? But it's like she's a better woman to look up to. A billionaire woman who owns a bunch of businesses. But but most girls much rather, look up to, again, those women, Cardi and Megan, they're probably great people. They just know what sells and they're selling it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee they talked about getting good grades in school and investing in Tesla. They may not get as many sales. So I get it. I'm not judging them. But if if those are the role models for women right now, I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me see how I got this ring. You know what I mean? Like it perpetuates like, okay, I can do that. No, you can't. Not all girls can pull that off. You know what I mean? And
Well,
then
yeah.
yeah,
I
go
don't
ahead.
even know if it's about pulling it off, but it's like it's so crazy from like when I was growing up to now. There has been like I basically grew up. Britney Spears was
Was the
like
shit, yeah.
I still go so hard for
Yeah.
Britney, but she was really the first like pop star to be very sexualized and very
Yeah.
like push
The boundaries.
society past where we were comfortable with, like the Slave for You video with that super low cut, those super low cut pants and her midriff all out. Everyone
Yeah.
had something to say about it.
Yeah.
Everyone called her a slut and said that she was too promiscuous and she was a
Yeah.
bad role model because she was the first one that was pushing, like if the needle is here, she's pushing it,
Yeah, true.
way far. And now you have Cardi B literally making songs about
Wet
female
ass, wet.
genitalia
Yeah.
and showing up in music videos with her entire chest hanging out of a shirt. It's like the needle is now moving way farther, and it's just this like trend of hypersexualizing women and normalizing sex to the point that we have. Like when you really think about it, yes, sex is absolutely normal. Like we're all sexual creatures, like not hating on sex, very pro sex, like, but as it is today in the culture, I think it's not natural. And I think that it's quite damaging, especially for women who have a completely different response to sex than men do. Like the amount of all the hormonal like cacophony that goes on with women after sex is like very serious. We get attached, like we're bonding now with this partner. And so when you introduce something like casual sex or like sex that's just the way that it's talked about in these mainstream role models, or women that girls are now modeling themselves after, it could be quite damaging spiritually, emotionally, like, and then yeah, we're just seeing skyrocketing amounts. I log on to TikTok and I listen to these girls talk about their experiences with dating or with mental health and all
Mhm.
this, and I'm just like, it, not to say my generation didn't struggle with the same things,
Yeah,
but it's
true.
just it's so extreme now. And
Absolutely. And then
yeah.
over the male realm, role models, it's tough because as a man, like, okay, like I guess you can say you men maybe look up to, like, action like Batman, Superman, Bruce Wayne, but these
Hmm.
are, like, so you can look up to them, but again, they're not real people. They're fictional. Wait, no, not yeah, they're
They're
fictional. They're fake.
fictional. Yeah.
They're fake. Yeah, they're fake people. So it's and also I see on TikTok nowadays is that masculinity is getting under attack. You've probably seen the whole super straight thing. Men are being, told that they have to date a trans woman or else they're not, they're bad people.
Hmm.
The whole toxic masculinity movement. Whenever a man says anything I guess if it's not positive about women, it's toxic. So there's a lot of men out there who see I'm very strong. I consider myself strong. The fact I can make videos, get thousands of hate comments, and come back the next day and come back the next day. And there's a lot of men out there who aren't built for that. So it's they have I guess process. Okay, stay masculine and get beat up for it, or obey to the mob, right?
Mm.
So
Yep.
that two choices, right? And some men aren't strong enough to stand up to the mob, so they're gonna feed into the whole, oh, be more emotional. You don't have to be in shape. You don't have, like, we will love you the way you are. You know what I mean? Like, to just be yourself, like be who you want
Be
to be.
yourself.
Yeah, that
Like,
be your
yes, be authentic, but like, no, only your mother's just gonna love you
be
as
for
you
yeah,
are,
as you are. True, and
Yeah.
I know that's probably a very common thing men will say in my comments is be yourself, and usually I don't give them any attention because there's no point. I can't save them. But
Mm.
my response to be yourself is, listen, if I'm a gym trainer and you come to me fat and overweight and you ask me how to get in better shape, I said just be yourself. Like, dude, I'm not. Being myself got me here. Being myself got
Mhm.
me overweight, and I'm on have health risks.
Yeah,
So be
exactly.
yourself, yes, but if you're having issues and you're having problems, seek help, change
Yeah.
your approach. You know,
You're so right. There's this rhetoric with women too, that like you're perfect just the way you are. You don't need to change.
change.
But
Yeah,
it's because we're all so effing soft.
true,
Like, listen, it's okay. You are perfect. You're perfectly and wonderfully made. Like, you are deserving of love, absolutely. But that does not mean that like having a 40 BMI
yeah,
is perfect.
perfect.
Like,
Yeah,
sorry, that's not what
it's
that
not.
means. It
Yeah, true.
means like it's okay for you to want to improve yourself, and it's and what I think people have a hard time with is that nature is hierarchical. Like, hierarchy exists in nature, but that means that not everyone's equal,
Hmm.
right? And that means that not everyone is like at the same level. Like, yeah,
True.
there are fucking Emily Ratajkowskis out there who
Yeah,
are in like a completely different sphere of anything that I
true.
could ever touch, and that's okay. I'm comfortable with that because I'm
Hmm.
comfortable with myself, and I know that like in my realm, like I am doing everything I can to be the best version of myself. Like, but people are very sensitive and don't want to hear it, and it's very weak minded at the end of the
Absolutely,
day,
I
and
agree.
we owe it to ourselves to be honest and truthful, and you know just because a truth makes you feel bad, which I think, it's
Happens all the time.
part of what we do. We talk about truths that aren't warm and fuzzy. Just because a truth is hard to hear doesn't mean that it's wrong or that like you're a bad person. Like, I'm 31 and dating, right? Like, yeah, the best time I could have been dating was between 20 and 25. I wasn't clued in then, right? I'm doing it now. Like,
Mhm.
could I beat myself up, and have I in the beginning part of my journey for like not getting clued in early enough? Absolutely. But the truth is, like, I'm improving. I know the game. I'm doing what I can to like play to the best of my ability, and and it's okay. Like, I've accepted it, and that's why like guys can leave the most scathing comments, or women can leave these comments, and it's like, fine. I know myself. I accept myself. Like, it, you know what I mean? It doesn't impact me as much. I'm not like spiraling because I'm strong mentally and I
Absolutely.
know myself, and you know yeah, it's okay. Like, we can all just admit these things to ourselves and be better
Absolutely.
off. Yeah.
So, man, I'm gonna see this real quick. One sec. We started talking at two. Damn, time has gone by so quick. It's crazy. So I want to
Yeah.
talk to you about gold digging, right?
Yeah.
So when I consider myself, if people don't know what this means, plugged in. Plugged in is
Mhm.
believing society norms. So when I was more plugged in, I would give the gold digger a hard time. Now, was I making videos and saying how bad they were? No, I just thought it was kind of shallow for a woman to only, not only, but I guess say there's a pie chart. 80 to 90% of it is because he has money. I thought that was shallow, right? For girls to kind of like
Mhm.
guys just for that. Then when I became unplugged, started learning about femininity and masculinity. That's when
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I don't blame them.
Oh,
And I don't
okay.
blame them because if they want to be, here's the thing, I'm okay with this trade off. Fuck, dude, she won't stop calling me. God damn, I'm so sorry. I can't. What's it called? I can turn my phone off on D&D, but not my whole computer. But
Yeah, no, it's
anyway,
all good.
yeah. What I was saying was, I'm down for an exchange. If
Mhm.
I'm bringing home the bacon, can you cook it? So there's a lot of girls out there that want a provider, and their goal is just to, hey, I'm just gonna be pretty. That's it.
Mhm.
You can shower me with gifts, vacations, but I don't want to have to do any cooking for you. I don't do any cleaning for you. I want to like hire a maid, hire a chef. Like, don't put me to work. I just want to just be pretty at the house. And that's what
Mhm.
I'm not okay with. I'm okay with it. If I'm gonna, do the deal, I'm gonna pay for everything. You have to bring your side of the table. So what's your whole opinion on that whole dynamic of like men bringing home the men providing and women doing a role? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think what you just said is like, I am not okay with that. Like, you don't want that for your partnership. And that's okay. You're totally entitled to that.
Mm,
I don't want that for my partnership either. But am I going to shame the 22-year-old who just bagged a guy worth 40 mil and now she's set up and like that's all she can go do that
yeah,
if that's what she wants to do and
and
that
guys will
makes her
sell for that.
happy?
Guys will sell for that too, just for a piece of arm candy.
1,000%. Like, yo, go do your thing, girl.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
seriously, go. Like, it's your thing. It's fine. And I'll be really honest, once I like got clued into the girl game thing and like, oh, like started thinking actually about my future, because I'd never wanted kids. Like, I never really like whatever. And then it's funny, I started eating meat again for the first time in 20 years. And my body was like, we want kids now.
Okay.
So once I started actually thinking about my future, I started considering finances like more rationally than I ever had
Hmm.
previously. Like, it was just never a big thing that I thought about. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm not interested in the, marrying a guy for X amount of money and just being like a product or an object. I tried it. I tried initially, like
Yeah.
just seeking out men just for their net worth. And, if they met a certain baseline standard, I would go out with them. And even if we didn't have anything in common, I would entertain it. I hated it. Like,
Okay.
I had to be really honest with myself at a certain point, and I learned I was wasting my time. I wasn't happy. It made me feel worse actually, because now I'm just like a physical object. And like it also like just fed into a lot of like other stuff I'd been like working on healing within myself. Like, it just wasn't healthy. It didn't feel healthy and it didn't feel like fulfilling to me. So I learned, I'm like, okay, Morgan, like that's not the path for you. And so it's like took the pendulum, went from like feminist, went all the way on the opposite end to like girl game, like kind of gold diggy a little bit. And now I'm kind of like more in the middle, where like some of the elements of girl game I've totally taken with me, like the femininity component, the traditional component. But I'm looking for like what you just said, a partnership. Like, I don't want to be married to a sugar daddy. Like, I don't want to be married to a guy where like the only thing I'm bringing him is my body. Like, that's going to make my esteem go really low, because I value myself for more than that. And like, since doing that, since coming back to the middle, like it's been way, way, way better. And I'm way more clear on like exactly what I'm looking for. So now, like, personalities, like just like normal things when you're actually dating, like as a human, like personalities are really important. Like, what is that trade-off? Like, if they're providing, like, how am I showing up? Am I the inspiration? Am I, how do I look? How do I make
Mhm.
him feel more like a man? Things like that. So I do think you have to be clear on what you want. And if you, whatever you want, it's fine. It's your preference. But experiment, try out a couple of different things. It sounds like you've experimented with, first you were kind of a simp and now you're on this and now you know where you're going.
Hmm.
That I think is important. I think that, we don't really know. I didn't know what I wanted until I experimented, right? With like
True.
the older, super wealthy guys who, took me out on really nice dates, but like we really didn't talk about anything I found interesting. Like
Gotcha.
I didn't like it. So now I'm kind of in the middle and taking what I found I liked and kind of leaving what I found I didn't. Yeah.
Got you. So reason why I'm cool with, girls that gold dig, it's whatever, because you
Mm,
mentioned the word hypergamy, right?
yeah.
And girls always go for their best option. And
Mm,
that's why when I get bailed on, like, hypergamy, not all the time, things could come up, they could have a dog get injured, whatever, but a better option, a drink with Chad at the bar, or a guy that offers me a, because that's what happened to me. She just told me, hey, you offer me a drink, you offer me a steak dinner. I want a steak dinner. Okay, fair enough. But at least I was woke enough to not know you weren't sick. I like, okay, Faith, like what really happened? But go on, you get a point.
well, yeah, I think that this is why in the initial stages of dating, before you really form a connection, it's important to show up like as you would as your high value self versus like offering a girl a drink, right? Because like, no, I have better thing. I can buy myself a drink. Like I have better things to do with my time than like put in over $1,000 basically into my appearance and like 2 hours or 3 hours of my life to just like, it's just not sexy to me. It's not like there's not any like appeal versus so I guess hypergamy in the context of like first dates or second dates when before you really like make a connection, have
Mhm.
interesting conversation. Yeah, that's what it is because there's no other variables on the table, right? Like there's not a relationship. Um so I think I will say though like I don't know. Once I have a connection with a guy, like I've talked to this one guy I have a connection with on the phone a few times, like
Okay.
versus initially, like I wouldn't give a guy that much of my time right away. But like, we have a connection. I enjoy his company. I enjoy him as a person, not just what he's doing for me or
Hmm.
giving to me. Although I always obviously take inventory of that too. That's data, but it's like what's keeping it going is that there's like a human relationship that's being fostered with common interests. And I
Hmm.
think that that misses or a game anyways, like doesn't account for that kind of component. It's not what game does is it makes everything very transactional. Like what you just said, it's like, oh, he offered her this. This was his like offer on the
He's
table,
offer,
and
yeah.
this was your offer.
Yep.
And so it makes it very like logical and transactional and whatever. But when you really get to know someone, which you do typically on like a first or second date or on a phone call or whatever, there's more data on in play, right? Than just money or just, effort and things like that. And
Absolutely.
yeah. For me,
Absolutely.
that's the part that was missing when I swung this way on the pendulum is like I was keeping it very transactional. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna go out unless it's a 5-star thing and da da da, like all the things.
Yep.
And it ends up not being fulfilling. And I think that a lot of guys too, like super high value guys who just go after the models and the 12 out of 10s and whatever, it's like after a while, and I've heard some of them talk about it, but it's like it's maybe I'm not going to speak to it. I'm sure it's amazing. I'm sure, I'm not knocking it by any means, but after a while, like we're built for connection. We're built for deeper things and love. And so it's like all this stuff, it can get old after a while, depending on who you are. Maybe
True.
some people it wouldn't get old. For me, I'm like a very deep person. I like
Uh-huh.
need that. You sound like would need a deeper connection or like
I'd
mental
like that. I need
stimulation.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
need that. That's
Otherwise,
awesome.
yeah.
So back to hypergamy as well. I accepted it because it talks about women only want to date up or even equal up, equal less, but more so up. So it
Mm,
makes sense when a woman much rather go with a guy that's a bit more financially stable because offspring can be taken care of, she can be taken
mm,
care of. Hey, kitty. So and that's why we had this conversation off air a little bit, but
mm,
this is where you can come in. You can be 5'8",
mm,
maybe not the best body, but if you make six figures, you may beat out me who makes 50. Okay. You may
Mm-hmm.
beat me out. Legit. So it's like, this
A
is your
thousand
chance. This is
percent.
your chance, bro. Like, since women are hypergamous and they go for guys, who are doing better than them financially, dude, this is your chance to become the best version of yourself. Because I've seen guys, we've all seen guys, maybe this short, pudgy guy with the gold chain jumping on the G Wagon
Mm-hmm.
with his supermodel looking girlfriend. Hey, can't get mad at him.
No, it's so true. And I will say, like, the smart girls, the feminine girls, the girls who get it,
Mhm,
they'll know and
mhm.
they'll go for you. They'll go for those guys who maybe didn't win the genetic lottery,
Yeah,
but have the bread to like back up their game. Like,
sure.
I have rejected like beefy, like
Handful.
gorgeous, like what I've rejected them because I don't want that. They didn't have good jobs. They didn't make me feel safe. I know they just probably wanted to sleep with me.
Of
Like
course, yeah.
I've rejected these guys that, the Chads or whatever that Red Pill talks about a lot.
I'm
Like,
Chad.
yes, you're Chad, but like,
I love it.
but when you work on yourself, there's opportunity. With girls, it's different. We would have to get a BBL, a breast implants, total facial reconstruction surgery. Like guys are way better positioned to become high value if you want it. Like it doesn't have to, especially if you're young. I see so many young guys on TikTok and on YouTube and in the comments. Like if you are young and you are a man, you are in the perfect position to like increase your value as a man. Like you start now, and by the time you're at 35 or 30, like
You're
done,
good.
done deal, like pull the tens.
Absolutely.
So,
You gotta be patient, man. A lot of guys they want the girls now. I get it, but you're gonna get the better ones. I heard like your 30s is like your 20s with money. You know what I mean? So as long as you're working hard, as long as you're working hard, you can get that. So that inspires
mhm,
me. That I can have almost anybody I want when I get to that 30. Because I'm already handsome. That helps out.
mhm,
I have height. That helps.
mhm,
Entrepreneur. That helps. But now
mhm.
I get the money on top of it. I can be
It's
a
a
good little
wrap.
I can be a rap,
Yeah.
and I can
Yeah.
start to pick and choose. Before it's like I'm chasing, you know what I mean? But then soon I can be able to pick and choose, you know what I mean?
Right.
Where so that
Well, you have more options. Like, yes, you'll have more girls that are accessible to you because you
accessible,
will
yes.
be
Oh yeah.
competitive with the other men that are coming
Mhm.
to them and their other good options, you
That's what I tell
know?
guys is I made a little I was like making analogies that are funny because that's what makes me stand out. I did a video back in the day. It's almost like when you play Mario Smash Bros, when you beat
Mhm.
the game, you have access to Falcon Punch afterwards. That's how it is. You gotta beat the game, then you have access to more characters. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
you gotta beat the game though,
it's
man.
true.
You gotta beat the
Yeah.
game. When you beat the game, the whole game can unlock to you. But until you beat the final boss, man, you're not gonna get to those new characters.
This is why I love men so much. Like and they say this in girl game too, like men love games. Like you guys love games, video games, looking at but it
Yeah.
makes it so much more logical. And then you can like contextualize what's happening, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? And then move accordingly. Like I don't know. I think it's I get a lot of flack sometimes in my TikTok, but for calling it a game or using some of like the terms that I
It's a game,
use, but
dude.
it's a
It's a
and
dance,
it's
it's a game,
okay.
and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, man. Like men go for girls who are hot and you're super attractive, and women go for guys who have their shit together. It's a game. It's not fair. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like some
Yeah.
guys, like so there are guys who are 19, 20, right? No money and no genetic lottery. Yeah, it's not fair. But hey, if you grind your butt off, you can beat Chad. You can beat him if you grind and
Oh, a
get your shit
thousand
together.
percent.
You
Get
know?
your game up though, and like know your game, and then know like the second that I got clued into the game, I automatically started like enhancing my femininity.
Mhm.
Like they kind of happened together. Like I was questioning feminism. I had taken this femininity course and was
Mhm.
really getting connected to like my womanhood. And then I found girl game, and I was like, oh, this is like all like
This is
what it's
it.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like how also I'm 31. It's like how I can compete with the 22-year-olds who are like very masculine or like screwing guys really easily. Like, there's certain like things that I can do to increase my leverage, basically. Like if you know that it's a game, you know the rules, even if the rules aren't fair or like I'm not 22 anymore, but like
Yeah.
these are the cards that I do have and how I can like use them in a strategic way. I'm I could have way more success than like the 22-year-olds, like
Okay.
depending on who I'm dating and who I'm targeting and how I'm, you know what I mean, interacting with them.
Okay. So
So
I'm gonna do
yeah.
this. I'm gonna treat you as if I'm DMing you on Instagram, okay? And you're gonna
Okay.
and you're gonna act and you're just gonna respond to my questions like normal conversation, and you're gonna
Okay.
see how I did. Okay. This is what I'm telling guys to do. This is what we're doing.
Okay.
So I first DM you, hey you. Okay.
Okay.
Is your first step to okay. What's your first step? You see me and you requested, you see Frad underscore Shanklin's, hey you.
Uh-huh.
What's the first step?
Ignore.
So why ignore all three?
Because it's low effort. And
So
it's like I
what
have so many guys in my DM saying, "Hey you," like boring, and
got
I
you?
don't care. Yeah.
So what would be a better way? 'Cause here's what I tell guys.
Okay.
If I don't want I used to try to be the elaborate pickup line guy.
Uh-huh.
And to me, that's you're already kind of let me do my best to impress her. Like, let me make sure I can make her laugh. Like, let me see if I can. You're already putting yourself in like this, in a way, I feel like a subservient level where it's like you're almost like her dancing monkey. Let me see if I can entertain her. Let me see if I can make her laugh. Let me see if I can make this elaborate joke to get her to like me. What's your take on that?
So I think that you and I both have incompatible ideologies
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to dating
Mm-hmm.
because I think I'm the prize and you think you're the
Oh
prize.
yeah, for 100%. Yeah.
So that automatically means that this would never work because there's no, if there's two prizes, who's chasing who? Right. So I'm not going to chase you. You're not going to chase me. Like it's not going to work. So I personally believe high value, very feminine women think that they're the prize. And so if you're a man and you think he's a prize, you might attract more masculine girls who might respond to something like that and want to try and chase you, like, which is fine. It's just not
I
my
wasn't necessarily asking you
type.
to chase me. I'm just saying off the first message, I'm not going to do my best to like make some elaborate joke to make you respond. It's more, hey, here's me. Look at my Instagram profile. You like what you see? Yep. Okay. Respond. Let's talk.
So I think initially when you were saying about like your simp, like you used to be a simp and you used to give girls like the boyfriend experience.
Off the
And then
rip.
I
Yeah.
was saying how they're not necessarily mutually exclusive and then it's not so black and white. It's like the energy that's behind it. So you could take a girl to like a 3-star dinner, but your energy during that is just like, this is like, this is me. Like I'm in my masculinity. I know how to treat a woman and like asking her, leading, you can still have the energy of like BDE, right? Like big dick energy
Okay.
and
Okay.
not
Okay. Okay.
simp energy, even if you're at a 3-star restaurant.
Absolutely.
Like
Oh
they're
yeah.
not mutually exclusive, which
Oh
isn't
yeah.
a boyfriend experience. Boyfriend experience is like, baby, like, are you feeling like catering? You don't
Yeah.
have to be catering, but you could still treat a girl right, at least, in terms of like where you're taking her for dates.
Yeah.
So I think in the context of like you're saying, elaborate lines, no, I don't like those either. That's
So what's the best way?
cringy.
What's the best way?
What is it? I like you got to know your target, right? Maybe
Okay.
some girls would like the hey you or the compliments or whatever. I'm more mental energy. So like if you respond to one of my stories or send me an article saying like, yo, like what, something that's opening the conversation. Like for example, on my dating profile on Hinge that I made in lockdown because like I wasn't fucking meeting anyone. I don't respond to the guys that just say hey or that compliment me sometimes depending on like who they are, but like not as much because I think it's low effort. When I put a lot of effort into my profile, I put the Jordan Peterson thing, I used to be a vegan and now I'm a healthy meat eater. I put one more thing I forgot. I have one more thing, but I have like things to start conversations about. Like if you're coming to me and it's like, hey, or like, what's up? Or like happy Monday. It's boring to
Okay.
me. And you're not standing out because a lot of guys do that. So
Okay.
start with like conversation starters or like something interesting that's not doesn't have to be elaborate, but
Got
just
you. Hold on.
interesting.
One sec.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disconnect my mic because this 1 sec. I have to do stuff. 1 second.
Right, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
What happened is I had my mic
Yeah.
turned into plugged into my computer, but no charger, right? And then I said 10% about to
Oh.
die, so to plug in the charger with the mic at the same time. Okay, so
Okay.
now we're back on there.
We're
Okay,
good. We're
cool.
good.
Okay, here's our back. So you made a great point. Let's go to
Okay.
Instagram real quick. I have a video that did pretty well
Okay.
saying how to swipe up on her story, because what happens is when a girl posts a thirst trap and she knows what she's doing, a lot of guys will start to comment. You will fall a line
Yeah.
in all comments. But I say, hey, when she's reading a
Yeah.
book, you may not have never read it. Oh my God, that was a great book. Do you enjoy that author? It's like, oh, a guy swiping up on someone that's not my ass. Let's have a conversation. So I tell them to do that. You mentioned the story
Yeah.
thing, but I'm talking like you guys don't follow each other. For example, I saw you on TikTok. This girl's pretty cute and she has good ideas. I want to talk to her. No, wait, no, damn, no, not that. Let's just say you're on his explore page, right? He just sees a pretty face, green eyes,
Okay.
and some nice smile. He has no data, right? He has nothing to. He doesn't know
Mm-hmm.
how you think. He's not on Hinge. He doesn't have like the cheap points to talk about. What does he say?
Mm-hmm.
Because I understand what you're saying with the whole like talking about something I like. If a guy's coming in blind, like most guys in your DM on Instagram, how do they approach it?
If a guy's coming in blind, if they don't have any data on me, you
None.
mean?
You saw you on the explore page, saw a cute little picture of you in a
Well,
bikini.
that's a
You
cop
talk.
out because I have a public profile. So you can go through my photos. You can, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's low effort. It's like you're not trying to like get data on me and then come to me with something interesting, which I understand. It's like, if a guy is trying to talk to 20 girls, that's way more time intensive. But like,
Okay.
I reward effort. I'm not going to reward low effort. Like, why would I do that? I
Okay.
require high effort.
So I'm on your profile, and if I was trying to say something, I'll go, okay, this girl's in constant different places: Las Vegas, Palm Springs, New York, Playa del Carmen. So maybe I can say, what would I say if I see you're a traveler and you don't like low effort? Okay, okay. Only thing the first thing that came to my mind was either something kind of far right, which is something like, damn, are you on the run from an ex-boyfriend? You're in a different picture in every single, you're a different city in every single picture. That may turn you off or make you laugh. I don't know. It can go either way. Either it's a response or LMAO. No, I just travel. Like it can go either way, but that's like an extreme. Or I can
Mm-hmm.
say, hey you, and just bank on me being attractive enough to respond. So it's like you can go for broke or you can kind of keep it neutral. But I tell guys to keep it neutral because like you may turn a girl off saying what I just said. The whole like, are you chasing as an
The
ex-boyfriend chasing
boyfriend
you?
thing.
Yeah, like because that's something I that could, because it made you laugh. I saw the teeth. You're like, okay, that's kind of funny, but it's like that can make some girls go, huh, what? And now their attraction's dead, the conversation's dead. Now you're backpedaling, going, sorry, it was a joke. And I don't know. I just feel like if a girl finds you attractive enough, she'll respond to anything. D1
Yes.
athletes will give a girl eyes, just the eye emoji, the two eyes. Girls are, hey
Yeah. And
you.
then it's done. It's like,
Like some guys can send a
fly
girl,
me out.
fly
I'll
me out,
come.
right over
Yeah.
two eye that's
Yeah.
it. So it's like
Yeah.
I tell guys, look, if a girl's into you, you you can still give effort, pursue, ask her out. But let's just finish. I say, hey you respond, hey, what's up? I then would try to make small talk with you based off of like your profile. That's when I try to dig for your profile. Oh, I can
Mm-hmm.
see you're a traveler a lot. Like, is you for work or for, we have small talk. But then for me, I tell guys to get to the point ASAP. After you send 3, 4 little small talk messages, set the date. What's your opinion on
Mm.
that? Would you prefer to wait a bit longer?
No, I actually like that. I like bottom line. And it's like, I don't believe in tech, even in a relationship, I don't believe in texting for communication unless it's to like, we're meeting here, I'm running late, like a
Yes.
coordinative kind of communication style. Like anything that's emotional or anything should be on the phone, in person, like always. So I appreciate that. I would probably come back if you were just to try to set a date and I didn't have any data on you. I'd probably say, yeah, like I would love to FaceTime first, just so I could
That's
get a
fine.
vibe check. I
That's
could
fine.
see if like,
I do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Go on.
So no, that's how that
Okay,
would go. But I
cool.
think, I'm really thinking about it. Knowing where you are in the hierarchy, like a guy, if he's like attractive, it's apparent that he's like does well for himself, I could see he's interesting. If he just like messaged me like, hey, like I saw you or whatever, what's up, I would respond to that, because you're right, I see that, like, okay, this is worth my attention. But if it's like a guy, maybe he doesn't have a lot of info on his Instagram, maybe he's like,
Let's talk about that. Yep, yep.
yeah, then
A lot
I
of guys hit me up
wouldn't.
on Instagram. Hey, bro, I DM this girl. What's going on? Do I get their profile pictures from 2016 and 14 and 11? It's like, dude, like, in their pictures, like them in a mirror with the phone over their
Yeah,
face and in a flash.
no,
It's like, dude,
yeah,
like, girls are going to go straight to your Instagram page and see what the heck is up. If you go on my
yeah.
page, my personal, you see, I love fashion. That's my thing. I love fashion and cool places. So,
Hmm.
okay, he likes to dress, like that's his thing. He has funny, corny captions. Like, he seems funny, right? So
He's
they
also doing something
doing
with his
something. Yeah.
life.
Yeah. He's a
That,
videographer. He's a photographer.
yeah,
Okay, cool. Like I can work with this.
yeah,
So my Instagram is almost like my resume. You know what I'm saying? You drop a
yeah.
resume off with like no jobs and no references. You may not get a call back, but you drop it off. Okay, he's this, he's this, he's this. He
Hmm.
knows this guy. You know what I mean? But my favorite is entrepreneur in the bio, and there's no pictures or of anything they do. Like
Yeah. No,
entrepreneur. It's like nah.
yeah. Okay, please. I've had to like, entrepreneur guys will tell me that they're entrepreneurs. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
What kind of entrepreneur? What do
entrepreneur.
you
I
mean?
do
Yeah.
Herbalife. I teach you how to get fit and fit.
Yeah.
No, dude, it's not how it works. But
MLM. No, I'm just kidding.
seriously, so I here's with the whole texting thing. It's interesting. Not interesting. I like how you agree because a lot of guys think like this. In order to keep this girl interested in me, I have to keep her engaged with me. It makes sense, right? If you want me to like if I want you to stay interested in me, I have to keep your attention. But I tell
Hmm.
guys, listen, text her to set the date. Maybe throughout the week, if you want, send her a meme. Hey, I thought about you. Just a little something, and then
Yeah.
wait till the day of the date, and then have talk to her in person. But some guys,
Yes.
I did a video where I did like, yo, some of you guys are legit texting girls 25, 30 hours a week, and then she bails on you.
It's your the amount of risk, like it can't make it better, it will make it worse,
Worse.
more likely. Like the relationship has a higher propensity to go downhill when you involve things like communication with very limited amounts of data. When you and I are talking right now, I'm sensing the tone of your voice, your affect, how engaged you are.
Mhm.
Like there's so much versus if it's in a text and you say something and you word it in a certain way. Maybe I'm going to be like, oh, how did he mean that? Or I'm going to think that
True.
you meant it a different way than you actually intended. So I think it harms actual communication, which is why memes, very pro memes,
Yeah, send some memes,
but
man.
anti like real, you want to talk to her, call her. I know Gen Z is like
Super
terrified
inside.
of picking up the phone, but like
True.
it's great. I mean, it's like meeting with someone in person, but you don't have to leave your house or look cute. Like phone calls
Absolutely.
are great.
Yeah, I agree. And
Yeah.
man, you mentioned a point that I wanted to speak on. Oh, this
Mhm.
guys can even talk themselves out of it through texting too much and talking too much.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
interesting.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bang this guy the first date. He's my type. All of a sudden, yeah, man, I'm a total ally. I love like feminism. I'm the future's women. They're like, ah, dude,
Yeah.
you shot
No.
yourself in the foot. You should have kept your mouth
Yeah.
shut.
Yeah. 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 It's
So
not the
sometimes
move.
you can talk yourself out of it. So I tell guys, man, like get in, get out, and
Yeah.
try to get some small talk out of her. Maybe talk on the phone or FaceTime, or if that she's comfortable with that, and then get to know her in person and set a date. And if you're young, okay, what is some like date ideas for maybe like a younger 19 to 20-year-old guy that is not trying to go full towards the 3.5 to 5 star? This is what I tell guys. You can tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, this is what I tell
Okay.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell guys, okay, get something maybe like a boba, coffee or tea, and go to a view spot. Right. So
Mm,
where I am, there's lots of beautiful ocean views.
mm-hmm.
So when we go grab, I'll through texting her and getting info on her.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go, "Oh, you mentioned you loved espresso. There's this great spot we'll go to, and then we'll go to like this cool view spot." Or I tell
Mm,
guys, there's that. I told guys to go to a nice rooftop bar. Rooftop bars are usually bougie, nice, have high value people there. Maybe go to rooftop bar and have a couple drinks. Then I talked to them about this last one is a bit like, I guess, a bit more romantic, I guess, but like maybe even going to a place like a lake or a beach, laying down a
Mm-hmm.
towel and sitting down and like enjoying something and talking to her. I mean, that's a bit more. Sometimes, so it's just funny. Sometimes women are scared of intimacy,
Oh,
especially,
1000%.
so especially too soon.
Like,
You
hi, we
know,
met. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, especially
Yeah.
if I hit you up, hey, would you like to go? Let's wear white button-up shirts, roll our jeans up, and go walk in the water and on the beach. Like, okay, dude. Maybe not the first date, but we can
It's
work
like a
towards that.
sixth, seventh, eighth.
Sixth date,
Yeah.
we can work towards that, but not. So sometimes, being too intimate too quickly can also kill the attraction. It's like, dude, like again, they much rather, in my opinion, earn that from you. Not do this guy's first dating, doing this with all girls. I don't feel special. I don't feel like this is something intimate. I feel like it's something he does with every girl he meets.
Yeah. And it's like you're not really going to be that comfy. Like I probably wouldn't be as comfy cozy as if like it's a
True.
public setting and people and like it's a little bit more like for a first date, I have context for like meeting at a restaurant or at an art gallery or
Mhm.
something like I have more context. And it's also, so what I would recommend for guys is like get to know her and like what she likes to do. And I always love it when guys propose things that are like tailored for me. It means that they've thought about it, even if it's not, super expensive. Like maybe, they got tickets, like $15 tickets to an art show. I
Mhm.
love looking at art,
No,
like I
true.
would love to do that if I was um younger, especially. Like it's totally reasonable to do that. Maybe you grab a coffee before you go in or like a tea, and it's not just a coffee date. It's like, okay, you're doing this and then here's the activity, and it's very intentional and mindful. um
I like that.
so like those, live music is great. There's so many
True.
things that you could do, looking and seeing what's happening in your city or your area. I'm someone who likes I need dialogue. So if a guy's planning a date, and you're doing something like watching a show or a movie or something where you don't have a lot of time to like talk, make sure that you budget time or whatever, plan the date so that you guys actually do have that time, because that's really how you connect with someone,
True.
is like talking and spending time with each other intentionally, not just distracted by other stuff. But like that's why, for example, I like art galleries or like shows like music, because then you can talk about it after and it's like point
True.
of discussion, especially art, because it's like, oh, how do you interpret this? Or you know what I mean? There's a lot of kind of points of discussion, and it fosters that
Yep.
dialogue a little bit more.
It's the
Yeah.
last thing I'll ask you. You can go back to your day and you keep knocking. Keep being great. What is the goal with your TikTok? Is it to eventually start giving advice for money? Is it a book? Is it just you just talking shit for fun? Like, what's the goal?
um That's a good question. I would love to do this full time, like
Wow,
create
you
content
could, you
and
could.
share my ideas. I mean, that would be just a dream, like
Yeah,
you
just to
said.
talk, just to talk and make money. Yeah,
Yeah. Like I think I've always had that in me, that I wanted to. I love sharing my ideas. I love
true.
talking to people. If I could monetize that, I would just be super happy. Ultimately, I would love a book deal. Like, and today you really can't get a book deal unless you have an audience. So
Build the audience on TikTok.
yeah, so I truly believe, an audience is one of the most valuable assets that you can have in
True,
2021.
and
So, and I
we're
think if
both
you
building that.
have 1,000%, and like you were saying before, if you have a thick skin, if you have strong opinions, why not? And if you're creative, you're marketing minded, like
Mhm.
it's just, you're perfectly positioned, And I kind of had a realization a few months ago, especially. Like I'm a marketing consultant and I
Mhm.
help people build their businesses, and I get paid well, but like I'm putting all my time and energy into building an asset for other
Our
people.
people.
And like at the end of the day, like I'm still at the behest of them and their schedule. And while I do own my own business, like I own my own time because I can set my
True.
own hours. I still am dependent on clients, other people for my income. And I hate that so much. So building something where like I'm the one in control of asset, and maybe one day it could be passive. Like I aspire to be a mother and a wife, and so having an outlet for my creativity, and building an audience and sharing an important message I believe needs to be talked about right now would be the dream.
And I feel like you'd be great
Yeah.
because, like, for me, I was way over here,
Mhm.
and I came to a middle, right? So I feel like
Yeah.
we're important because we can relate to both people. You can relate to a girl who's a feminist, you can relate to a girl
Yeah.
who's girl game, and you can maybe bring them to a middle. And I'm the same way. That's why this is called Views from the Simp,
Yes.
because I was a simp. Also, Drake has an album called Views from the Six, so it's a Drake
Ah,
inspired
love that. Okay.
thing because he's Views from the Six, I'm Views from the Simp. Makes sense. But hey, stay on the air. I'm gonna talk to you off camera. But hey, I appreciate you having me on. Appreciate having you on the show, and hopefully one day you have your own show, of course.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Of
And
course.
this was great.
Of
And
course.
if anyone wants to find me on TikTok or on
Yes, please.
Instagram, it's
Yes.
at the Morgan May, or you can go to my website, themorganmay.com. I have my blog there and a couple of things you guys can dive deeper into. So thanks so much again. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Awesome.